Okay. Couple people waiting. Let me refresh this. Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to Zach Attack Reviews and welcome to the movies that made you. I know that the title has changed. It used to be Movie That Made Us, but I didn't want to get sued by Netflix. So we had to do a little bit of rebranding, some little different changes that are going to be coming into the live stream, but I'm super, super excited. I haven't done one of these in a long while, and I have a very, very special guest, one of the few people that hugged me when I joined the YouTube community and has helped me a lot, especially when it comes to watch-alongs and just introducing me to different people. A really, really cool guy that I'm really excited to have on the channel again. This is not his debut, but this is the first time we're going to have a one-on-one. And this guy sees so many different kinds of movies, so I'm excited to pick his brain and figure out what movies has made him and made his taste. And that would be the incredible, the incomparable Luke Ponto.
Yeah.
He deserves a round of applause. Yes, Luke.
I don't know about all that, but thank you, Zach. I really appreciate that. That was a really sweet intro, man. I really appreciate it.
No problem, man. How are you feeling, first of all?
Feeling pretty good. Ready to talk about some of the movies that kind of shaped who I am as a film buff, because I'm pretty sure you kind of guessed this, Zach, but I have been a film buff my entire life.
Oh, yeah.
Like that is, anytime I go to school or anything like that, that's all I talk about is movies. Because I'm trying to spread the love here a little bit, I've always been trying to spread the love ever since I was a kid. So, and yeah, I'm really excited to share some of these movies.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear it. I have the list here, and I asked you how you were doing, and I had a poll up running before we even started live, asking the chat how they were doing. And once again, if you're a live stream, thank you for joining us live. Definitely be involved. Talk about the things, ask questions, attack Luke for his picks, praise Luke for his picks. If you want to quiz the man, quiz the man. This is very interactive. It's not just me interviewing him. We're all interviewing him as a community. And a lot of you guys are in his community too, so you'll not be surprised by some of the picks that's in here. But
absolutely. I just when we get to the adulthood, one of the adulthood picks, obviously Zach knows what it is. Yeah. But if Jacob Hubbard is watching this, he's not going to be surprised by at least one of them. But
yeah, I hear that.
Because him and I were even talking a little bit about it last night, but we'll see.
We'll see. And so with the poll, I said, how are you doing? We got 8 votes. 75% of the people are great. I love hearing that. I'm glad you guys are coming in with a great mood. 12% is good. 12% is sleepy. Well, hopefully we wake you up. And luckily, none is sluggish. I'm happy to hear that. We actually have some comments in here already. Let's get through that, and then we'll start.
All right.
Kal-El Daily, friend of the channel. Zach,
what's up, Kal-El?
Lives, keep it up. Yeah, man. 3 lives back to back. I did one last night, doing one today, and then I got Zach Attack News tomorrow. I'm gonna be tired.
Well, I've already got I've already got 2 live streams planned this week already. Because tomorrow's I'm doing 2 watch-alongs this week. I'm doing The Beekeeper tomorrow, and then I'm doing Safe on Wednesday.
Safe? Okay, nice. What's Safe? I haven't heard that film before.
It's another Jason Statham movie. So
got you.
Where he used to be a NYC detective, and he finds out that this little girl is involved with the mob because she knows the code to this certain safe.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a pretty awesome movie, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Very well directed. It's better directed than most modern action movies.
Nice. So this is going to be a heavy Jason Statham week because we're going to have him on this video. Obviously, you see him in the thumbnail. So that's one of the big movies that's going to be here. And then obviously you said you're going to be doing Beekeeper, which I need to see. What time is that watch along going to be?
It's at 7:00. So
what, tomorrow?
7 o'clock my time. I should have prefaced.
So that's 8 o'clock my time.
Right.
And that's tomorrow, right?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. So be on the lookout for that on Luke Ponto's channel. His channel link is in the actual title. I tagged him, so you can click on that, and it's in the description of the video. Go subscribe. Get this man some more subscribers. You know what I mean? And last Hello Daily said, "Yeah, man, yes. Come on, get me to 1,000."
Let's go. Come on.
I appreciate all 900 of you guys. I love the community I have. Even if I never go full time on YouTube, I really just love making videos and doing this stuff. So I really appreciate everybody. Sully Streams, he said, Meg to the Trench better be on the list. Luke, have a great stream.
Of course, that's our little running joke. And all I got to say to that is that movie can kiss my ass. It's terrible. Oh, Dave, don't be freaking putting that into me right now. Come on.
Oh God, 2 people with the Meg 2 jokes. That is hilarious. Now the audience is anticipating some Meg 2 love.
Apparently so,
Kenny Sparks, the mod of the chat.
Kenny, what's
looking
up?
Forward to this. Wilkie Movies and Music.
What's up, dude?
What's up? Brandon, what's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, dude?
Big Ponto with the stunning shades. Love it.
Like I'm not even joking you. I literally actually just bought these shades today, so like for kind of just for the funny occasion.
He was I'm showing my superstar. 80 kids from the 90s. I see your question. We'll have a little bit like a 5-minute Q&A at the end of the video. But if it's not pertaining to any of these, we'll hold the questions. I'll star them and we'll answer them at the end.
All right.
Watching y'all while folding, hanging clothes. That's the best time to watch YouTube videos.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, or even how Milne said it at one point when you were on his show for the I freaking love the hashtag for that, the Pooper Troopers.
Oh yeah. Like that cutout was I haven't laughed that hard on live stream in a long time. That was so funny.
Like seriously, like why do you think this view count fluctuates so much?
I was like, oh my God. The Viewer Drew, what's up, man? I always say if Viewer Drew's not in your live stream, you ain't doing it right.
Yep, he's the MVP.
He is the MVP. Oh, Brandon said, I've seen Safe several times. So he's a fan.
Awesome, dude. That's awesome.
It came out the same time Safe House came out with the little Chinese girl computer.
That's kind of funny. Like
that's
Safe
hilarious.
and Safe House in the same year. Like,
yeah.
But two completely.
They do that a lot. like White House Down and what was the other movie?
Olympus Has Fallen.
Was Fallen, and then they had like No Strings Attached and the Justin
Friends with
Timberlake.
Benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like something like that happened recently again. I'm not sure, but like they keep doing that every year. It's like 2 of the same kind of movie coming out.
Yep.
Cam Cross Comics, welcome to the live.
Damn, my brother. How's it going, buddy?
The Madam Web aficionado is in the building.
Yep. Like that should be his new channel name, the Madam Web aficionado.
Yes, and they need to sponsor him because he's probably watched Madam Web more times than people watch it in theaters.
I mean, I think he told us he saw it in theaters like 3 times. I think. I'm like, brother, like look, I saw The Beekeeper in theaters 3 times, and I've gotten flack for that. Actually,
really?
I'm not even kidding you. I've gotten flack for that, and I'm like. So what?
I've seen mixed things on that. So people love it. So there's some people that love it, some people that don't.
I mean, I love the movie, so what do you want me to say? Go on.
Yeah. Jason Entertainment, welcome to the live. She said, what's up, guys? How you doing?
Another MVP.
Yeah, man.
Love that, man.
So glad to see Dope Ponto.
That's what he loves to call me, is Dope Ponto. And whenever he's around like our squad, he likes to call it the Dope Squad.
Nice.
So
I think the best movies are the ones that bring out your inner child. We have our eyes glued to the screen, no distractions at all, and enjoying the movie.
Yes.
We are about to get into your childhood, so that's a big thing, and I think that's dope.
Yeah, and I've of course I've got some classics in the childhood department, like
of course
classics.
Seven times.
I thought you saw it 3 times, dude. Because oh man, like. That
is hilarious.
That'd be like saying, like to me though, Zach. I mean, I know you like this movie, and that's totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like to me, that's like seeing Imaginary in theaters 3 times.
Whoa! Don't say it like I like it that much.
I know you like them. I never said you didn't. I never said you loved it. I know you like the movie.
Yeah,
I hate it personally. I hate the movie.
Yeah, I hear you. It was just it wasn't so bad it was good for me where I was just like laughing at the movie. It wasn't. I'm never watching that movie again, to be honest with you.
Okay, good. Because if you were to watch it like 5 times raw, I'd be like,
no, never again. Unless someone's like I want to watch it, and it's like a girl. Okay, I'll watch it.
Yeah, sure, why not?
I do not like Beekeeper, but that doesn't matter. Enjoy what you enjoy. That's the biggest takeaway.
That's the biggest takeaway. Like not just of like any any reviews we do or any film discussions we do. That's just the case with any movie.
And just in life, just not even like movies, just anything. Just enjoy what you
music, TV, food.
Yeah. So when you're not hurting someone, that's where my
just
not hurting anyone, you know?
Yep.
What's the live stream about? I'm glad you asked, Collective Movie Man. First of all, welcome to the live stream. This is going to be me interviewing Luke Ponto about his childhood, his teenage, preteen years, and his adulthood. And we're going to be talking about the movies that made up his taste. Not necessarily all his favorite top 10 best movies, just the movies that influenced him the most and maybe guided him to another movie or guided him part in life. And we're going to try to figure out all the different things and how these movies made him. I'm excited to do that. Okay, so a bunch of stuff is talking about Madam Web. So let's
go. Oh my god! Overflow Madam Web comments.
we started something here.
Oh god, we just started a movement of Madam Web apparently.
Of Madam Web comments. That's hilarious. So to start off, like we were saying before, we're gonna go to the childhood.
Yes, sir.
Look a little Luke Ponto in the corner there. Thank you for giving me your baby picture.
That's not me. I'll just say that. It looks like me. It looks like me as a kid, but that is so not me.
That's so funny. When I was Googling to make that graphic, I was like, this kind of looks like Luke. I gotta use it.
I don't know if that's a compliment or if I should be offended, but that's actually
a cute kid. So don't be offended. I'm not offended. Just like... That is hilarious.
Oh god. I'm already crying.
So we're gonna start. So it's 6 movies for adolescents, 6 movies for preteen teens, and it's 6 movies for adults. He has 5 in teens, in adolescents, which is totally fine. But I'm super excited to get into the first one because this is a movie that almost everyone I've had it on their list, and that would be The Dark Knight. Talk about The Dark Knight.
Absolutely, man. Abso-freaking-lutely. And this is also one of my my dad's favorite movies also. So I mean, this had to at least one of my dad's favorite movies that he introduced me to had to at least make this list. And so I chose this one. Even I was also going to pick the original Top Gun, but I was like, this one actually influenced me more as a youngling because of how immersive the film was, how well filmed it is, the performances, especially Heath Ledger's Joker. May the man rest in peace. Let's see. Also, how dude, the gorgeous cinematography of that movie
still holds up.
Beautiful. And also, that was one of the first films where I didn't care if there was just like too many boom, 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 bang, bang, anything like that. Like that was the first movie that actually made me care about investing myself in a story. Like, because I don't know, man. I mean, even like there were some movies as a kid where I was just like, okay, pick up the pace.
Yeah.
Like we always get that feeling as a kid, but like as you go to watch movies like The Dark Knight or hell, even any Christopher Nolan movie, you're just invested in the story. You're not just like, okay, where's the action? Like all that kind of stuff. I mean,
yeah, you want to see what's going to happen next in the story. The action is just a cherry on top.
Absolutely. And the action of this film, I mean, what can be said about it? It's incredible. Like,
yeah. I love that you said that it was the first movie as a kid that had you go like, you know what? I'm okay with a bunch of explosions. Let me pay attention to what the filmmaker's actually doing. That's really interesting. You caught on that early.
Yeah, because I think I remember the first time I saw it because this movie came out when I was 5. So,
okay. And somebody, Kenny Sparks got a good question. How old is Mr. Ponto? Might help contextualize his picks a bit. So yeah, how old are you right now?
Currently, I am 20, but next week I will be 21. So,
happy. Well, I'll say happy birthday to you tomorrow. We talk to each other every day. Happy birthday for you. But on live stream, let me say happy early birthday.
There we go. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I could do a birthday live stream, but I'm going to be out on vacation, so that's...
Hey, man, enjoy yourself. Get away from YouTube for a little bit.
Well, not even just YouTube, but also from my actual day job.
Oh, yeah.
Because I need a break from my day job, dude. I
hear you. We're both May babies, so my birthday is 2 weeks after yours. And I'm taking off 4 days from my job, and I'm not doing any YouTube.
Perfect.
But yeah, talk about The Dark Knight a little bit more, and that influence you were about to get into in terms of your dad and everything.
So obviously my dad showed me some of these. It was also during that phase when he showed me a lot of the classic 80s movies that he introduced me to. A couple of them we're going to get to on this list. But this was the first movie that he showed me that when I watched it, my mind was just blown. I was just like, wow, there's something more than just watching big over the top action. There's actually like I said, there's story, there's conflict, there's actually good characters that you can latch onto in a movie like this. And sure, it's epic in scale, obviously, but the movie isn't just reliant on action, explosions, gunfire, anything. They're just reliant on the characters.
Yeah.
And
in terms of how you said that, so you're saying that this movie kind of opened up your imagination to other stuff.
Yes, absolutely. This movie actually made me want to kind of examine film a little bit more and actually want to view more movies, not just as popcorn movies where I can just sit down in a seat and then just shove popcorn in my mouth. I'm there to pay attention to the film and actually see what they're wanting to do with it. So, and this was the first, and like I said, this was the first movie that kind of opened up my eyes to it. And and this was actually my very first Christopher Nolan movie as a young kid.
Oh, okay.
The very first one I ever watched.
This definitely means a lot, because for it to be your first Nolan film, your first film that opened your eyes up, it's along the lines of the first films you're seeing all these classics with your dad, and you got to see a modern day classic that you can grow up
absolutely with. So yeah, this is one of the ones I definitely have to thank my dad for, because this is also one of those films that anytime it's on TV, anytime he sees it on the guide or anything on YouTube TV, he'll turn it on. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
My mom has some of those as well. She'll watch Gone in 60 Seconds. She'll watch National Treasure. She'll watch some of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So it's on TV. She's watching it.
Absolutely. Yes. But yeah.
So I have a question for you about this film. This is the Batman movie that influenced you, opened your mind and everything. But amongst the Batman films, where would you rank it?
Oh, this would easily be my number 2.
Okay.
In regards to the Batman movies, the Batman is easily my number 1 because of how because I think that film did a couple things better than what The Dark Knight did, which was actually expanding the story a little bit better, and especially giving us more of a darker edge to it. Especially with Paul Dano's Riddler. He's freaking Jigsaw, basically.
Yeah.
Even creepier than Jigsaw, in my opinion.
And I think the creepiness comes from him being realistic. You can see people in real life doing the exact same thing.
Oh, absolutely. There's no question about it, dude.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, The Dark Knight. What more can be said about the film that has not been said already? It's amazing. It's amazing.
Before we get into the live chat, let's move on to the next film, and that is going to be another classic, Ghostbusters.
When there's something strange in the neighborhood, who are you going to call?
Ghostbusters.
Absolutely, man. So, this was one of the classics that both of my parents introduced me to. And again, and this was like the first like classic film that like actually like old school classic film. Like, and I think out of all the movies that are on this list, this is the movie that I have seen the most amount of times.
Okay.
I have seen this movie. I can't even tell you how many times I've seen Ghostbusters. Like,
gotcha.
Everything, like, and plus, of course, that theme song by Ray Parker Jr. was even played in my school's gym. Like, we were actually playing some like kind of like prison guard games in gym class, and they would play the Ghostbusters theme.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, basically that's what we were kind of doing. That was a ton of fun. Yeah. But again, like, and also the effects of this film. This one came out all the way back in 1984, so 40 years ago. They still hold up. Like, I couldn't even imagine like how well they pulled off a lot of those effects. Like for Slimer, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, like, my God, dude. Like, this is also one of those films where it's like, it's kind of endlessly rewatchable in my opinion. Like, again, the characters, like, you gotta latch on to the characters. I mean, I love Dr. Venkman, Bill Murray's character, Egon Spengler, Harold Ramis, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, I miss Harold Ramis every single day. I really do.
I hear you. So with this movie, right? So like with Dark Knight, open your imagination, led you to dissecting film. Ghostbusters, endlessly rewatchable for you. Did this film maybe lead you to anything else, anything supernatural, or lead you to other actors, like another Bill Murray film? Like, what did this movie do for you in terms of influence you to go somewhere else?
It kind of led me to more SNL style comedy, because the humor in this film is very adult for a PG movie, and also it's very Saturday Night Live-esque. So this film definitely made me watch some of like the old SNL classic films like Wayne's World, Conehead, stuff like that. I mean, come on, who doesn't know those classics? Come on.
Yeah, the movies that felt like sketches that turned into a full-fledged film.
That's what this film kind of felt like in regards to the humor. But this film, again, story speaking, and also there's the ghosts are freaking creepy. Like,
very.
Like, especially the one in the library that you see. That, I mean, it's also given in the trailer, but that you do see in Frozen Empire.
Yeah.
It is a nice little callback to it, which I really like. And again, love all the actors involved. And this is also one of those films that actually made me love Rick Moranis. The guy that played as Wayne Selinsky in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah.
Also one of my favorites.
One of my favorites as well.
Kid. So fun. Stuff like Little Giants, Brother Bear. And I miss him as an actor. Like, we haven't had him in a movie for years. But
yeah, he's retired. I just saw an article about him being retired and like what he's doing in his retirement. He's enjoying it.
And I'm glad he is. I'm really happy he is. But again, though, like part of me wants to see him in another movie, but it's like,
of course,
it's okay, man. Because of what happened, enjoy your retirement. Like,
yeah.
So, yeah, like, but like all around like the 80s and 90s, he was everywhere, dude.
Everywhere.
Like, also pretty underrated comedy with him and Tom Arnold called Big Bully. Like, sure, it's just like it actually kind of does represent like school bullying back in the day.
Yeah.
But it's between two teachers, not two students. Which that's a nice little spin. Like,
yeah, because we don't see that often, and it is something that happens in the workplace.
Absolutely.
Before we get into the next film, let's see what the live chat has to say, so we don't like get too behind on them because they're dropping comments in there.
Like, I could probably tell you they're piling up. Like,
yeah, Crank 2 is in my top 10 favorite movies ever. We'll be talking about Crank.
I think it's because you can see the Blu-rays in the background for the Crank movies.
Yeah. At least to me, it's not the worst movie of the year. I'm just talking about Madam Web.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen much worse than Madam Web. I'll just tell you that.
Yeah, I miss Blockbusters despite the ridiculous $100 overdue fee.
Well, people have even gotten arrested for that kind of stuff. Like,
yeah, they were
for
not
not
playing no
returning
games.
their movies to Blockbuster. Like, they've gotten arrested for that.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about. Like, imagine getting arrested for like not paying Netflix and still using it or something like that. I know it's not really possible. Like somehow,
like somehow, like the police are just gonna raid your house because you didn't pay your Netflix bill. Like,
yeah. Has one of you seen Balto by any chance? That would be a movie that would be part of my history of movies. Have you seen that movie, Balto?
I haven't seen that film in a very long time. I've seen it as a kid, but I do not remember it very well. Like, that movie did come out in the era of stuff like Land Before Time and American Tail. Like, that's the stuff I grew up with.
Gotcha.
So,
oh, nice. New subscriber.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. Adding into that subscriber count, I'm getting pretty close to 600, by the way, guys. So let you guys know.
Hear that.
Thank you.
Dark Knight is a fantastic film, and I could definitely see it being influential. Yeah.
It has definitely influenced a lot of people, so I can tell you that much.
Amazing movie. It changed comic book culture.
Yeah, I mean, 2008 was actually it was like the big game changer for comic book movies because you got that and Iron Man.
Yeah, basically every movie either copies Dark Knight or copies Iron
Man. But also to be fair, like if Iron Man was terrible, do you think we would have movies like Avengers Infinity War or Avengers Endgame? Absolutely not.
No, it would have flopped right on his face.
Exactly.
Hey, happy early birthday.
Thanks, Kenny. I really appreciate it, dude.
He's at 5. I was grown when I saw this, but I'm 45. He was like, you were 5 years old. I was an adult. I was in the darkness.
I know. I'm the youngling here.
Another happy birthday.
Thank you.
80s Kids dropping his list for his adolescence. Empire Strike Back, Dinosaur. Well, no, sorry. E.T., Dinosaur, Emperor's New Groove. He got 2 empires in there. Land Before Time and Spider-Man. That's a really great list.
Glad to see Land Before Time on that list, dude.
He has 2. I seen some he has Land Before Time and Dinosaur. He has Dinosaur movies.
Dinosaur's pretty good, dude. That's a pretty underrated movie.
Nice. Oh, I love this movie. And
dude, that's a dark dude. That's actually a really dark movie for kids.
It is. It is.
But I like that though. I like that.
Ones. I watched Forrest Gump a lot when I was young. When I was like 5+, that was the first movie that made me go, "What's going on here?" Similar to you.
Yep.
Yeah. You watched it. You watched Ghostbusters so much. He watched a lot of Forrest Gump.
Yeah, there you go.
Zach, don't thumbs up that insane Batman slander. What are you talking about?
What?
Oh yeah, he likes Batman 89 more than the other ones, and he likes the Forever.
No, honestly, I don't agree. Like, I'd rather watch the more darker and serious Batman. But I mean, I still love the 2 Tim Burton movies, like for sure. But I prefer the darker side of Batman. Like,
yeah, he loves Ghostbusters 1 and 2.
I don't care for 2 all that much. Like, in all honesty, like, even though I love the first movie so much, I don't care for the second one. In all honesty, that movie just like tries to like over exceed what the first one did so well, but it just to their credit, nah.
You try to double down.
I wanted to point out this comment. It's actually a really good comment right there. Funnily enough, I actually did see Ghostbusters at a drive-in during the pandemic.
Oh, nice.
So that was fun. That was actually a really good experience to see that at the drive-in.
Yeah.
Jesus, Kenny. No.
This is like Kenny's like thing on his channel. Don't summon things.
Again, no offense on this, but you think I'd be that stupid to try to summon things in my house?
Look, we've seen it in movies, all right?
And if I was shooting a movie, then my character would be, but just me as a person, absolutely not. Like, I'll just tell you that, absolutely not.
Miss Weaver had already made her bones with Alien by the time this came out.
Oh yeah, Alien and Aliens. Like,
yeah.
But that was back when Sigourney Weaver was back in her prime, though.
Yeah. That reminds me, what happened to the new Honey I Shrunk the Kids movie that was supposed to be made for Disney Plus? Didn't that come and like go? I felt like it came out and just.
I don't know, man, because over the past couple of years, Disney has been losing a lot of money. So
yeah, because they've been doing a bunch.
So it's like, stuff. Yeah, I don't. And also because of how much of a disaster Home Sweet Home Alone was for Disney Plus, I was like, yeah, don't make any more of these.
And Pinocchio live action. Jesus.
Fuck that movie. Like, that movie's terrible.
He said Big Bully's one of his guilty pleasures. Nice.
It's a fun movie. I cannot lie. I mean, it's not good, but it is a lot of fun.
Oh, Ice Cube made a movie about teachers bullying. Yeah, didn't he do that with like? Was it with Kevin Hart?
It's Fist Fight.
Yeah, Fist Fight. He
but,
said,
but
yeah.
that was back but that was back in like 2017. So, but like Big Bully was all the way back in the 90s. So.
This guy was gonna be the age you're gonna be next week when he saw The Dark Knight. That is hilarious.
That's funny.
Happy birthday, bud. Nice.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate it, buddy.
Returns, 89, Dark Knight are my 3 favorite.
Okay. Okay. Good.
I love
Dark Knight on the list, though. That's what I'm happy to see.
But unbiased and take Nolan trilogy is the best made films, the Batman movies.
Oh, easily, yes. Like easily.
There are people who just go summon things willy-nilly.
Oh God, dude!
Oh God.
If it hasn't gone off the rails already, it just has now.
Word. I love the Dark Knight trilogy with Christian Bale because it's darker tone and realistic, and then I also like Robert Pattinson because of the dark grind tone. Same, me too.
Absolutely.
I love. I just saw Zach ask me an annoying question. See, I'm gonna star your question, Zach, because you're gonna throw me off with that.
What?
She's asking me about Return of the King. I don't want to get into it.
Oh God.
Brother. I really like the Batman because it gets into the detective side of him, which we didn't really get much in any of his movies. I
mean, we did get that in The Dark Knight, but just not enough of it. Like we got more like the other detectives, like Detective Gordon and stuff like that. But
other people doing it.
Yes. So when we got that in the Batman, we actually got to see Bruce Wayne's more detective side of it, like you said. So, and I like that about it.
And then moving on to the next preteen adolescent film, that's gonna be Goonies.
That's right.
Talk about Goonies, man.
You have to do the sloth impression every time whenever you talk about the Goonies.
This is a movie I actually haven't seen, so sell it to me.
Oh, okay. Okay, Zach. How do I sell this movie to you? I can just tell you one thing. It's a classic.
That's what I hear.
But also it has some famous kids before, like, obviously they became adults. We have Josh Brolin in this. Also, who we may now know from Everything Everywhere All at Once and Loki Season 2, Ki-Huy Kwan.
Yeah.
Love that man.
Data is his name in this?
Yep, Data in this one, and also Short Round in Temple of Doom.
Oh, yes. I saw Temple of Doom. Yes. I remember that.
Best Indiana Jones movie, by the way, in my opinion. I had to, man. I love Temple of Doom. But yeah.
Real quick, so somebody asked that since you said it. Kal said, "What are your thoughts on Indiana Jones?" Because that's a franchise he's personally never seen.
God damn, dude. But obviously the original trilogy is phenomenal. Like, how is it not? Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, I can take or leave. It's not very good. I did enjoy Dial of Destiny, though. I did enjoy that.
Someone else.
I can give the green screen and CGI a pass, because how can Harrison Ford pull off a lot of those practical stunts and with his age now?
Yeah.
Like, be real, you guys. Come on.
Yeah. We don't want to risk his life just to get practical.
Exactly. Stuff. Like, come on now. He's not Tom Cruise, for crying out loud. Like,
no.
Like, he ain't no Tom Cruise. Like, he ain't no Jackie Chan. He ain't no Jason Statham.
No.
Right now.
He's actually older than all those guys.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Oh man. But yeah, Goonies. Talk to me about Goonies.
But also, I also forgot to mention the guy that plays as Chunk in this movie, the guy that also has one of my favorite gags of all time called the Truffle Shuffle. Like, it is seriously one of the funniest. I even have a poster of that over there. So,
oh, nice.
I love that. Like, first you got to do the truffle shuffle. Come on, do it. Come on, do it. Like,
That's one thing I love. You can pull movie quotes out of your head and
like
imitate the
that's like the
voice
quote
on
I
a
remember
dime.
the most from watching the Goonies. Like,
Yeah.
I cannot lie about that. Also, Corey Feldman. Everybody knows Corey Feldman. Like, Lost Boys, Gremlins, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I forgot to say the guy that played as Chunk is actually Ke Huy Quan's talent agent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, fun fact.
Didn't know that.
Thanks to Zach Goller for that fun fact, by the way.
Shout out to Zach G, the other
yes,
Zach
sir.
G.
Zach, the Zach with a K. There you go.
Yeah.
Like, how's that one for you?
Yeah, that works.
And also, Sean Astin was also in this movie too. Back in his younger days, before obviously he did Rudy.
Yeah.
But now he appears in most of these like faith-based movies now, which I don't have a complaint with him because he's a good actor.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just a fun ride. Like, it's one of the best like family adventure movies. Just a bunch of kids just hunting for treasure.
Yeah.
Like that's perfect in my mind. And
also
directed by one of the most influential filmmakers for me, Richard Donner. Rest in peace as well.
Another one.
God, I already got 3 of them in the first 3 already. God,
I was about to say that. It's a lot of deaths.
I know, man.
In terms of Goonies, right? Because I've heard about this movie a lot, but I haven't really heard it like lead to other stuff. It's like obviously it's a one and done kind of film. They didn't do any sequels or anything like that. What about this movie made it so special that it made your list? Do you feel like what happened in this film?
I think it's also because of like how much it's also one of those films like that my family always talks about, like whenever we think about movies, or again, another one of those that like whenever it came on TV, we always watched it. And
yeah,
that was also one of the DVDs I continuously wore out. Like, that's how much I loved it. And I mean, I surprisingly enough though, I have not watched that film in a very long time. Like from start to finish. Like I see clips of it. Like, but I do definitely need to watch it again though, because obviously this is one of my favorites in regards to my childhood. God, I probably should watch this one again this week or something like that. Like,
yeah. And I have a question for you before we move to the next film. In terms of Goonies, there's been talk about a sequel. There's been talk about remakes. How do you personally feel about both of those ideas?
Just leave it as it is. Like,
just one and done.
I don't think the Goonies needs to be like a legacy sequel or have like a remake or anything like that. Just leave it as it is. And I mean, hell, if I have kids down the future, I can introduce them to that classic. Come on now. Like, I don't need to. I don't need to see Goonies in a modern age. Okay, I don't need to see that.
Gotcha. That's fair. That's fair. Not everything needs to be remade. You know.
Exactly.
Moving into another film. Oh, I forgot to ask you about that. Like, in terms of like, you know, going back into a little bit of a Ghostbusters talk. You rewatched the first one a bunch of times. You just said you didn't like the second one. Do you feel like Ghostbusters should have went the way of Goonies and been a one and done? Or are you fine with the multiple sequels?
I'm fine with the multiple sequels. I just don't think it needed to be remade.
Okay.
I don't think it needed a remake. Like, I'm fine with like Ghostbusters 2, even though I don't care for it. And I'm obviously fine with Afterlife and Frozen Empire.
Yeah.
Because those are at least continuing on the original story of Ghostbusters. Like, not just, okay, yeah, we're just going to completely do another time loop and it will not exist. Like,
gotcha.
Yeah, because if they did that on me, I'd be like, oh, really? You ruined my childhood. Thanks a lot. Yeah, but I'm digressing. So
yeah, and another big film that's in a lot of people's childhoods, another film I haven't seen, but a lot of people say is a classic, is The Incredibles.
One of the best Pixar movies.
Yeah, man, tell me about it.
If I had to talk about one of the VHSs that I had in my collection that I continuously, and I mean continuously, wore out, it would definitely be this one. It's between this one and Monsters Inc. that I just wore out. Like I would watch this film and Monsters Inc. just all the time as a kid. And I mean, this one currently, as of right now, as it sits for me, is my second favorite Pixar movie, only behind only behind Coco. But with this one, it's a really unique take on the superhero genre. Like, and this was obviously before comic book movies were like the biggest genre in Hollywood.
Yeah.
But so basically, the opening is like a little montage of basically, or somewhat of a montage of Mr. Incredible. Obviously our main character, voiced by the ever so talented Craig T. Nelson. Gotta love that man. And then we're finding out, like, over the news that people are not even, like, when people are actually doing some of these things before Mr. Incredible comes in to save them, they never even wanted to be saved. So they decided to create a law to make superheroes illegal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that's the premise of the first movie.
That's the first movie, yes.
Yeah.
Which I actually think is a great premise. Like,
yeah. The whole idea of like, look, I didn't ask you to save me. Why are you doing
exactly.
this?
And also, again, also great family dynamics between Mr. Incredible, Elastigirl, and their two kids.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually 3 kids if you count Jack.
Yeah.
But he's a baby. So, and then we also got one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Pixar villain in Syndrome, voiced by Jason Lee of Kevin Smith fame. Mallrats, stuff like that. I mean,
yeah.
Funnily enough, though, my introduction to him was actually before I watched The Incredibles, was Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Nice.
But then I was like, what else is this doing? And I saw that he was in The Incredibles, and I was like, let's watch this. And after I watched it, like I said, I continuously wore out that VHS. I mean, I still even have a VHS of this movie. Like,
I'm surprised you have VHSs.
I do, actually. Because actually, something you guys should know about me is I actually used to collect VHSs. Like, that was actually what I used to do. I actually used to collect VHSs, and I had one copy of it for the longest time. I mean, I actually just bought one like a few years ago, like, because the other one I had was caseless, unfortunately. But like I said, I wore this thing out like continuously, and even if I was to pop that VHS in, I would still wear it out, like, because it's just that good of a movie to me.
And then in terms of, I've heard you talk about Pixar a bunch when you're bringing this up. Second favorite Pixar film, favorite Pixar villain. In terms of, like, was this your first Pixar film? Is this your first Pixar film where you're like, this is great? Because obviously Coco's your number one, but that came out later.
Right, yeah.
Like, how did this influence your love for Pixar films?
Because all the stuff I used to grow up with, like all the Pixar movies I really used to watch before I watched The Incredibles, were the first 2 Toy Stories. And I mean, I would watch Bug's Life from time to time, which is also one of my favorites, but like the ones I would always go back to were Toy Story. But like, once I watched The Incredibles, I was like, God damn, I love Pixar. Like, because they were not afraid to go the directions they were going, like with their movies, like in regards to dark tones, like, and the messages or anything like that. Yeah, man, like, this is
another defining movie for you in terms of getting you to, like, so like Dark Knight helped you get into the stories. Ghostbusters got you into sketch comedy, kind of. And this movie got you into, like, okay, I'm playing around with Pixar, Bugs Life, Toy Story, but Incredibles is like, oh no, I got to check out their stuff.
Exactly. Yes. Because like I said, Toy Story was like the one, like, I would just watch those if I needed to shut myself up from time to time.
Yeah.
So, but like The Incredibles, it's The Incredibles and Monsters Inc. that were ones that just had my eyes glued to the screen. Like,
gotcha.
Every single time I watched them, like, my eyes were just glued to the screen.
And you brought up how unique this film is, and I have a question written down for this, because a lot of people compare this to Fantastic Four. because it's kind of similar
Right, yeah.
family dynamics.
I can definitely see the comparisons, but let's be fair though. This one definitely does it a lot better. Like there's
Okay.
more family to this one rather than just being like because let's be fair though, the Fantastic Four movies that we've seen are not very good.
No.
Like, and plus none of the dynamics in really any of them are really all that good. Like they're
They
just
don't
kind of
capitalize on them.
Not only do they capitalize on them, but they're not like used to their fullest potential. Like they're just like, okay, we're just gonna make them cardboard cutouts of Fantastic Four, basically.
Gotcha.
Like,
so
that's what I
this
feel
was
like
like
they
the
did
good
with that.
family dynamic before like the Guardians films and things like that. This was the one. This was the superhero film that showcased that.
Yep, this was kind of the blueprint for that. Like, without films like this, I don't even know where superhero movies would even be going, to be honest with you. Like,
it's definitely influential. Before we get into adulthood, we got one more film for your adolescence. This is another film. I've seen it only one time, so I don't remember everything about it, but it's definitely a classic horror kind of horror film, and that's the Gremlins.
absolutely. Gremlins. Speaking of movies that I would wear out like to watch, like the DVD that I would just continuously wear out pretty much for like every Christmas season, even though I have not seen this film in like almost a decade, believe it or not. Like, but beforehand though, like I would just watch this film continuously. And this was also kind of like one of my introductions to kind of more kid-friendly horror in some ways, even though it definitely does have some adult themes to it. But this is definitely a horror film that you can definitely show to your kids, as long as they're not terrified of the Gremlins. Like if they have a paralyzing fear of the Gremlins, then don't do that.
Not gonna work.
No, like, but as long as you think they can handle it, then yeah, sure, show it to them. Obviously, I mean, I love Gizmo. He's freaking adorable. I mean, I even have a plushie of him. Like I've had that plushie for like almost a decade. Like, of course, and I love the designs of the Gremlins. Like, and I think they're actually kind of remote controlled. Actually, they actually look like they're kind of remote controlled creatures. If you look at the behind the scenes,
yeah,
like if you look at some of the ways that they move and everything, like their eyes, their mouth, anything like that, it looks like they were a remote controlled, which I actually thought was a nice touch.
Yeah, it's like a puppet, but like a robot puppet.
That's what it seems like, yeah. And again, this was all the way back in the 80s. Yeah. And this was also, fun fact about this movie, this was also one of the first films that did also, this wasn't PG-13, but this was kind of the reason like why PG-13 had to be a thing, was because of this movie and Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Because of how dark and kind of bloody those movies are. Like, because there's a scene in Gremlins where Billy's mom puts a gremlin in the microwave and he explodes. Like, yeah,
I remember that.
And I'm like, is this for kids?
Yeah. Like, hold up, man.
I'm like, hold
giving
on
me nightmares.
This is for kids. Like, this is PG.
Yeah. So yeah, that's interesting because I remember watching, Indiana Jones going from the first one to Temple of Doom, going, whoa, this is way more violent. So it's interesting to hear that this and that movie kind of like, oh, we need to make a new rating because this is not R-rated, but it's not PG.
Yeah, and plus in Gremlins, there's also another scene like when Billy cuts off a gremlin's head.
Yeah.
So, and then when Gizmo lifts up the blind to like open up the curtain to the window so that way he can give Stripe the bright light. The way that he melts, like, that's disturbing for kids.
Very disturbing. Yeah, it's just disturbing imagery. I think that's usually on the back
of
the
which again though I really like. I like that for like a kind of like a family movie and everything. And
I have a question now that you're talking about this, right?
All right.
This is just come off the top of my head now because one of the times that you've been on my channel during a live stream was for Terrifier 2, right? Which is one of the goriest movies of all time.
Absolutely.
And you is this movie, because you saw this when you were really young, like the first time you kind of got into gore? Do you think?
Actually, no. Actually, this was one of my gateways into that, but this wasn't like the first film that actually got me into like gore fests or anything like that. It was actually the original Nightmare on Elm Street that actually kind of got me into that. I know I should have put that on the list, but then my mind just completely forgot. Like all of a sudden for some reason. But
Gotcha.
hey, I mean,
so what would you say was the most influential part of Gremlins for you then?
it was basically the designs of the creatures, like the way they were designed. Because if you really think about it nowadays, they would just use CGI. Like they wouldn't use like practical effects or remote control, anything. Like, because I mean, even think about something like I Am Legend, like because they were supposed to use practical effects for the zombie hordes, but they just used CGI.
Yeah.
Because they were just like, oh, that's just too much work. Okay, CGI, go ahead. But then when you look at this film, it's like the practical effects they use. I'm like, dude, where's this? Where's this?
Yeah.
Practical is
this
better
gives
than
you an
digital
appreciation
effects.
for practical effects, because even now, anytime I see a really great practical effect, like there's a movie that's not good, and Kenny Sparks can attest to it. We just did a live stream yesterday talking about ranking all our April films, and we watched this Damage with Samuel Jackson. Movie's not good, but there's some really gnarly practical like body effects and stuff like that for the kills, and it just enhances the situation. Like if it was just a CGI body, it would have been lame. But the fact that it looked real, it was like, oh, and it made us like,
I
this
mean,
killer is
you
crazy.
can even attest to that when it came to like if we're even talking about another modern film, you can even attest to that when it comes to Renfield, because when it comes to the priest body explosion at the very beginning, that was actually a practical body explosion.
Nice.
And also Renfield ripping the guy's face off, one of the cops. Like,
Yeah.
Even though it's obviously CGI blood,
Yeah.
the face that they use is practical. Like, so there is a sprinkle of practical effects in a movie like that, but obviously there's a heavy use of CGI.
It's the mix. Don't just go full CGI and go full practical. You got to mix together.
And plus, that film cost $65 million to make, which I was actually really impressed with what they were able to pull off. Like,
yeah.
Definitely. So yeah, with Gremlins, just with the practical effects that they use, and like, dude, if you watch this and you told me that this came out like in the early 90s or something like that, I would believe you. Because the fact that this came out in the 80s is mind-blowing to me.
The fact that it looks so good.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, same thing can be said with Ghostbusters. Like,
yeah,
the effects that they use and everything, it's mind-blowing, man.
Yeah. So before we get into your your teenage years, which child, I'm loving everything here, and I'm starting to develop my thesis. Because that's what I do here. I try to develop, like, okay, picking apart the things you're saying and find that through line all the way to the end, and then give what I think about how these movies affected your personality and your life. And I'm starting to pick up some stuff here. Let's get into the live stream, and then we're going to get into your teenage, preteen years. Kenny Sparks also has never seen Goonies, but he said hides in shame. Zach said Goonies.
Yes, that's my boy. That's my boy.
Hey, Del, what's up, man?
What's up, brother?
You haven't seen Goonies? Brett is like always just mad.
Like I'll just be real though. With Zach, I totally understand to be completely honest. Like I totally get that.
Like I'm really upfront about not seeing movies.
Exactly. Yes.
And I'm never like, I'm a movie aficionado. I've seen all the. No, I'm not.
No, you're not like that. Like
I love movies, but I just haven't.
Exactly.
That right peel screen feels like a dial-up speed. Oh my god, he's so silly. Oh, Kal-El's never seen the Goonies either. That's interesting.
What the hell are you doing, man?
Kenny Sparks, like he said, hit that like
and
sir. Hit the sub button on Lou Ponto.
I think you pointed in the wrong direction. Yes. That's always a funny mess up. Like,
yeah.
Because I remember.
So do you know the connection with Goonies and Back to the Future? No. Do tell.
Interesting. I mean, Back to the Future is another influential movie for me. Like,
yeah. Hey there, beautiful people. Happy birthday. B-Day it is. Oh, thank you, Run with Scissors. Appreciate you that. And here's another happy birthday for Luke. Welcome to the live stream.
What's up?
Goonie Seagull just announced. Don't do that.
God. Don't do that to me.
Google it. I'm gonna Google it right now.
This better not be clickbait, Kal-El.
He's just probably trolling. Let me see. Oh God, Goonies 2? What the hell is this? Oh, it's real.
Oh shit.
Wait, what? Goonies 2 happening with entire cast set to return.
Oh God.
Goonies sequel is called The Curse of One-Eyed Willie.
What? Curse of One-Eyed Willie.
Oh, it's fake. There's a fact checker. Okay. We're all right. Page Master is goated.
I actually that's another childhood favorite of mine. I actually first watched that when I was in 3rd grade.
Nice. Watch Goonies at the age of 20. It was weird, entertaining, but I think nostalgia is a big part of the love.
Oh yes, absolutely, definitely. That's definitely one of those movies you definitely would need some nostalgia for at least. But I mean, hell, if you watch it for the first time today, you still might love it. Who knows?
Yeah, you never know. It's been said and proven that the day the Goonies happened is the same day Marty McFly went back in time. Oh,
okay. The way you said it, though, I'll give you that. Like,
yeah, everyone knows Truffle Shuffle.
Of course. Like, why do you think I have a freaking poster for it? Like,
hey, I love saying his name, Michael 10159. What's up, man?
What's up, dude?
Hey, collected movies, man. His movies: Aladdin, Lion King, Night Before Christmas, Liar Liar. I love Liar Liar.
Star Wars, God, dude, Liar Liar. I'm
GoldenEye.
My ass. Do you mind?
That's a good Jim Carrey.
Like, bro, I probably should have put at least one Jim Carrey movie on this list though. But again, it's just whenever you're trying to make a list like this, you forget shit.
Yeah, of course, especially when you're limited to 18 films.
Exactly. But one of the ones I was definitely going to pick for the childhood list would be The Mask.
Ooh, I love that movie.
Definitely The Mask. Like,
yeah.
Because that's another movie I watched on repeat when I was a kid. Like, because that movie cracked me up every single time I watched it. Like, seriously. Like when he's in the dance club and he starts getting shot at.
Yeah.
Whoa!
It's amazing. Another person that hasn't seen the Goonies.
Incredible, dude.
That's so funny. Like, how many people haven't seen the Goonies?
You guys need to change that, by the way.
Welcome to the live stream, Obituary Alliance, and thank you so much. Hopefully you're doing well as well. The Goonies is just a classic. One of my favorites. I got to see it in the theater with fans at my local Alamo Draft House, and it was a movie.
Awesome.
They handed out props that I got to keep. Nice.
Awesome, dude. I'm jealous.
They're making a Goonies 2 in 2026 or 2027. What are you talking about?
That has to be clickbait. Like
I'm seeing everything. I'm seeing
research checks, so it's like,
yeah. I just googled it. Yeah, I'm seeing Goonies 2 can't happen. It says that Josh Brolin said that the scripts were never made. Ke Quan said that. I don't think it's happening. Maybe they're trying to throw us off.
That is so clickbait. Like,
Goonies 2, if it gets made, will suck. Oh,
probably yes.
I'm a huge fan of strong women. I am too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No to Goonies sequel or remake. Please, Hollywood, think of something original. Well, look, I gotta say,
to be fair though,
we get tons of original movies all the time.
I mean, like what we've gotten this year. Like, I mean, come on, we got like Love Lies Bleeding, Civil War, Monkey Man.
Monkey Man. Yeah. It's a tons of original films all the time. So it's okay if they remake stuff sometimes.
Like, since I brought it up, I'm not going to go throughout the rest of the stream without saying this. If you guys missed Monkey Man in theaters, shame on you.
Yep. I don't want to hear nothing about original films, especially action films, if you didn't go see Monkey Man.
Thank you, Zach.
But 80s kid, man. Later.
I know when you were doing a spoiler stream for Monkey Man, I think it was for Monkey Man. I told you I just gotten back from it, and you were like, "Please don't let me down. Please don't let me down." And I was like,
Please, Luke.
Yes. I mean, it's not in my top 5 anymore, unfortunately, because of certain other movies that are taking it over.
That's
But
fair.
it's still amazing. Like,
yeah. Zach, forget Return of the King. Watch The Incredibles. Incredibles.
He is right.
I can't say it's a classic. Okay, we got someone that doesn't think it's a classic.
Okay.
Delamoon said Incredibles is the best Fantastic Four movie.
Yes.
Have you seen the Kanye West video comparing his life to The Incredibles? No.
That sounds like absolute bullshit, dude.
I don't want to see that at all.
That sounds like bullshit.
If you really like anti-super law premise, I'd recommend the Civil War comic book if those who haven't read it. Yeah.
I'll have to read that. I mean, I'm not a big comic book reader, but I mean, I definitely would like to read the Civil War comic.
Yeah, that's one that you can definitely get to, you know?
Yeah.
Zach said, I found Incredibles VHS yesterday, actually. Oh, wow. Nice.
Interesting. I mean, I've seen some of your VHSs in the background, Mel. Like, you got like Twister in there, dude? Come on.
Hey, Laser. What's up, man?
What's up, Laser?
Funniest man on YouTube. Zach, I commend your interview skills. I want to just shout out real quick. Great job, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. I'm definitely saying this. I'm practicing on you guys, so when I get to interview movie stars, I'm doing it.
But I mean, hey, dude, at least you got somebody looking out for you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Zach. He's always a big supporter.
Absolutely, man.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
So I think best part of Rise of Soul Surfer is Johnny and Ben Grimm. They feel like brothers in that movie. I can see that. The actors are great, but on the film, it's just the rest.
Just to be fair, though, it's not a good movie.
Yeah. If you're comparing Incredibles to Fantastic Four movies, then I agree. But if you're comparing Incredibles to Fantastic Four comics, I definitely disagree. FF is for sure family. Yeah. If you compare it to comics, there's big inspiration from the comics into the Incredibles movie. But when you compare it to movies, it's the other way around.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Let's see. Heavy Metal is way better than any other cartoon flick. I saw Gremlins in theaters.
Nice. I have heard of Heavy Metal. I've never seen it, though.
What about Critters?
Oh, God. When we talk about that franchise, holy shit!
That sounds like something I would not watch.
I'll just say this though: the first 2 were good. I actually really like the first 2. 3 is a guilty pleasure. Funnily enough, that was actually Leo DiCaprio's very first movie, believe it or not.
I love how you said, "How is Dark Knight a childhood film?" It came out in 2008. Sir, he's younger than you. 25 years younger than you.
What the hell?
25 years younger than you. That's a big difference.
Exactly, bro. What the hell?
He said, how about Weird Science and Adventures of Babysitting the Cat's Meow? These are movies that we don't... I know about Weird Science.
Adventures and Babysitting. Funnily enough, though, I mean, as a big fan of John Hughes, this is going to shock people. I've never seen Weird Science. I've never seen it. I haven't, so I have no excuse.
Yeah. I love the horror story of Phoebe Cates' dad dressed up as Santa and dying in the chimney. It's so left field.
Oh, God, dude. That's tragic, actually. That's tragic.
Talking about Critters. He said David Cronenberg did practical effects all the time. That's true. He does.
Of course. I mean, I'm a big David Cronenberg fan.
He said Wizard of Oz. Have y'all seen that?
No. Oh, it's Wizard of Oz.
He's talking about Oz. Oh, okay. I thought he was talking about like some different thing. I've seen
the Wizard of Oz. It's just again, if I forgot to put it on my list.
Liar Liar is my all-time favorite Jim Carrey.
Oh my God, I love that movie, dude. It's so funny.
What about Flight of Navigator and the Explorers? This man has
Explorers. I did grow up with. It's got a very young Ethan Hawke in it.
Yeah,
and also River Phoenix. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. I've seen the Goonies, but it's been really, really long time for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely need to watch it again though.
Whoever has not seen the Goonies, please go watch it. You all must be living under a rock.
Jesus Christ, dude.
No, we just watch a bunch of other movies.
Not Zach though. Let me just say that, man. Not Zach. Like, because he's
definitely not.
Because I mean, you even admitted this on the podcast that you did with Fritzky and I. Like, you just kind of really gotten into movies.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I'm making my way.
At least you're upfront. Like, that's why I'll give you that, Zach. At least you're upfront about it.
Like, yeah, gotta be.
Absolutely, man.
There are hundreds of original movies every single year. Hundreds. Yep.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you, Dave Show.
My boy.
Still need to see Monkey Man. Definitely go check it out. It's available for you to rent now.
I am actually, funnily enough, when I'm on the car ride over, it's for my trip next week. I'm gonna be buying that movie digitally, and I'll be watching it again.
Nice. I pre-ordered the 4K, so I'm excited to get that.
I definitely need to pre-order that because, I mean, dude, I need that on my shelf. Like,
me too. Zach, we need to watch Incredibles and Goonies fast.
But also, before we move on, I do also want to say, Zach, if you want to do I actually am planning for this over the summer if we can still do it. I actually am planning for a Monkey Man watch along. If you want to do, that.
I am. You just let me know.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm in there.
Dude, Dude, you're the first person that comes to mind with that movie right now, man.
Yeah,
like, you're the first person.
I've been trying to get on a lot of watch along for you for a long time, and it's always just doesn't line up. But I'll make space.
But hey, I mean, we do have some lined up for this month. I mean, you saw Joyride, right?
Yeah, I love that movie. I own it.
I mean, it's. Oh wait, shit! I forgot you're doing your show on that day because it's a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday. That's what we'll figure it out. I'll get on one of those.
But if you want to do some, dude, if you want to join for some Jason Statham movies, I mean, you can. Because I really do want to get you into more Jason Statham.
Yeah, every time I see him in something, I like him. Like Wrath of Man is a great film.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and again, it's front and center in the thumbnail. We will be talking about a Jason Statham movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's even clear in my my little on my little banner underneath my name on my streams, Jason Statham fanatic.
Yeah, and your picture is him.
Yeah, it's from Crank High Voltage.
Yeah.
It's the second one, by the way. It's the second Crank. And which, by the way, if you guys have not seen those watch-alongs of the 2 Crank movies that I did, please go check those out. Like,
fun time.
Dude, some of the most fun we've ever had. Like, makes me laugh with some of the Crank jokes we were making.
Oh, Lord.
There's a lot, though. There's a lot. Like, take a shot for every Crank joke we make, and yeah, good luck.
You'll be out for the night. Okay. Let's transition into the teenager years.
Yes,
look at that little kid. Sir. So excited to watch movies. So the first movie we're going to be getting into for your teenage years and preteens too. So this is like 10, 11, 12 up into 18. It's going to be one of my favorite movies. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, baby. Yeah, man. Talk to me about this.
And I mean, I did really enjoy Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I was 8 years old when that movie came out. I was 11 when this came out. And honestly, before I watched War for the Planet of the Apes, which let me just be clear about that. Let me just be clear about this. This one is much better in my opinion. Even though War is fantastic, I definitely prefer Dawn. Like,
I agree.
Like, there's a lot of conflict in regards to the ape side of the story, but also with the human side of the story, there's also a lot of conflict. Like, Matt Reeves definitely finds perfect balance on how to with the conflict, and that's what I think we're going to be getting with Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Which, I mean, with someone like Wes Ball who did the Maze Runner trilogy, which, by the way, good trilogy.
Right here.
It's a good trilogy. I think he's got something, and especially with what we've been getting in the trailers, sign me up. And even the last time I watched Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, I was just in awe. Like I just kept forgetting how incredible this movie is.
Yeah, man.
And every single time that I watch it, I remember how good it is. Andy Serkis, of course, as Caesar. The motion capture work on the apes,
revolutionary,
mind-blowing.
Like,
seriously, like, even though the Avatar movies do great with motion capture, that's the kind of motion capture I like. It is the apes, like, because the way they look so realistic with that motion capture.
Oh yeah, and it holds up.
Absolutely. I mean, maybe not the original Planet of the Apes movies. To clarify, maybe those not those ones.
Yeah, no, just these new ones.
Absolutely, yes. Yes. God, those movies. And then we get Mark Wahlberg's version in 2001, which, hey, what are you doing over there, monkey? Fuck that shit.
Smart Wahlberg.
Guilty pleasure of any pleasure at all with that movie, but it's not very good. But when it comes
to the trilogy, why did you end up picking this one?
Because this is the one that actually made me care about like both sides of the story. In regards to the human element and the apes element. Like, even though, like, because Rise of the Planet of the Apes is morely focused on the human element of it.
Yeah.
And I did really, and of course I cared about that. And they didn't give us much time to really care about the apes in Rise. But when it came to Dawn, they balanced it in a way where you could actually care about both sides. And which I really like about it. And God, dude, every time I think about this movie, I even want to go back and watch it again now. Like, and also, funnily enough, this movie turns 10 years old this year.
Yeah, so, and then we're getting a new one. Yeah, happy anniversary. In terms of the influence, though, what did this drive you to? Any other kind of films? Did it make you go backwards and watch the old ones? How did it influence your taste?
It actually kind of got me more into, how good sci-fi movies can really be. Because there were just some other sci-fi films I was just watching because they were just kind of just throwaway movies, like The Darkest Hour, Skyline. I was watching that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And those are just throwaway alien sci-fi movies.
Turn your brain off.
With The Darkest Hour, definitely. Like, definitely that's a turn your brain off kind of movie, but let's admit it's not very good. When it came to this one, it's like, okay, sci-fi movies can not only have great action, but they can tell good stories.
Okay. So seeing similar, it's like The Dark Knight, which is funny.
Exactly.
Second movie in a trilogy.
Exactly. I mean, that's kind of coincidental. Like, when you really think about it, that's kind of coincidental. You have The Dark Knight of the Childhood, and then Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and the Preteens. Like, it's like, what? Like, and they're both seconds in the franchise, and they're better than their predecessor. Like,
yeah.
Like, how does that work?
perfect timing. It's like perfect synergy for you in your life in terms of your movie guide, like your movie journey. Yes,
absolutely, man.
That's amazing. And then moving on from I just realized I don't have why is that not there? Moving on from why did I press that off? This next one really surprised me because I've never seen anyone but me talk about this movie.
Yep.
She's All That. As a rom-com fan myself. Yeah. Talk about it. How does this influence you so much?
Let me just actually preface this by when I start talking about this. I was a junior in high school when I first saw this movie. So when I first watched it, I was like, the movie actually got me. I cannot lie. It was a really well told story. I mean, it actually made sense for me because I was still in high school.
Yeah.
And I actually did relate to the character of Zachary Seiler. Like, I actually relate to him like quite a bit. Like,
fellow Zach.
Yeah. Yes. Like, with his kind of like personality, kind of like a cocky teen, kind of a cocky jock, kind of like that. I actually did kind of feel that way in certain aspects of my life when I was in high school.
Okay.
So, and also, like, the film is funny, it's clever, and I mean, of course, also got to address Paul Walker, the man himself. I mean,
yeah, a young Paul Walker.
Taken from us way too soon.
Of course, way too soon.
Yeah, and this was obviously before he did Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
And of course, I mean, Freddie Prinze Jr. We know him from I Know What You Did Last Summer, Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Yep. And then this was also everybody's introduction to Rachel Lee Cook, who obviously did a lot of like Hallmark stuff.
Yeah.
Like later on in her career, which I know I'm not a big fan of. But this is also what kind of turned me on to a little bit more of the sweet side of rom-coms. Because whenever I used to watch rom-coms, I was just like, okay, this is just stupid. Like, this just isn't for me. But then this one actually has wit to it. Like there's a good story. There's wit, and I mean, sure, it's cheesy, but the movie itself embraces why it's so silly. Like,
yeah.
Like, I mean, come on. Like, two guys, like, betting on a girl to turn her into a prom queen. Like, come on. That's silly in and of itself.
Yeah. But the way it's handled is just great.
Like, it's handled in a very clever way. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what, after watching this, because you said that you used to watch rom-coms, they felt stupid to you, which there's a lot of stupid rom-coms, even to this day. But this one was more witty. So what's a rom-com you could say that you're like, oh, let me see if this is more similar to She's All That?
Like when it comes to, are you saying like any rom-com? Like,
yeah, so like you saw this, you're like, this is my new standard for what I like to see in a rom-com, right?
Right, yeah.
What did it lead you to? Is it like, okay, Freddie Prinze Jr. in it, I'm gonna go follow him to his next film that he does? Or like the actors in this, I want to see if they do another rom-com? Or like, how did you find other rom-coms that of this caliber?
I can just say this, like, when it comes to like rom-coms in general, like I said, I was never a big fan of them. They had to just hit the right notes for me to like them. Like let's talk about like a recent rom-com that pretty much everybody knows about, which is Anyone But You. Like everybody knows about that movie. And it's and for good measure. It's a fun movie. Like,
yeah, definitely is.
I mean, and also that's also a really silly rom-com, like in regards to its concept. It's a pretty ludicrous concept.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, but the movie itself embraces why it's so silly. Like that's what I want to see in rom-coms, like in regards to its concept and like why it's so silly.
Gotcha.
Like,
you don't want to take yourself so seriously.
Now, they don't take themselves so seriously. Like, I mean, I can talk about another recent one, "Marry Me" with J-Lo, which was a huge surprise in my book. Like, dude, that movie shocked me on how good it was. Like, because that's a movie that embraces its silliness. Because the concept of that film is really, really stupid. Like, be real with me. That concept is so dumb.
But I haven't actually got to see You Marry Me yet, but I've heard great things about it.
I recommend it, my man. I
like rom-coms, so you're selling me on it.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, that's kind of my standard with rom-coms. Like, if you got like a really silly concept, have some wit, but also still having the charm with your rom-com. Like, because like you got to be sweet, obviously, for a rom-com. You also got to have some good romantic elements, but also be funny.
That's the winning formula for the rom-coms, and have charismatic actors.
She's All That checks all three of those boxes. So
becomes the standard. Before we move to the next film, I ended the poll about everyone's favorite of your childhood films, and actually it ended up being a tie between Incredibles and Dark Knight at 37% each.
Interesting.
And Gremlins is at 25%, and Ghostbusters actually got 0 votes. I know. Shocking.
Pull up the first comment, please.
He's like, how dare you guys? I was
just trying to figure out a way to do that without blowing up. Like, because I was like, what the hell? Where's the love for Ghostbusters?
Word. Another movie from a company that's my favorite company, and it's a different kind of rom-comish kind of thing, but a different field. Lady Bird.
Yes,
it's a film not a lot of people talk about anymore, but talk to me about Lady Bird.
So, it was over the summer of 2018 when this film was on Amazon Prime when I first watched it. And this was also kind of what opened my eyes to more realistic coming-of-age dramas. Because when it comes to coming-of-age movies, they're all pretty standard. Like, we know what to expect from them. But this film is a coming-of-age comedy drama that focuses on the mother and daughter dynamic and why they make each other's lives a living hell. Like, And Greta Gerwig, this was her directorial debut. This was a phenomenal debut. Like, I felt like 2017 was just a perfect year for a couple of debuting directors, Jordan Peele and Greta Gerwig.
Yeah.
So, and the fact that they're still both 3 for 3 in their careers right now is mind blowing.
I agree. Thank you for saying that.
To be fair, like, let me just be real about this, though. I mean, even though I don't love Barbie like everybody else does, I think it's still a very, very good movie.
Yeah.
I just think they should have tamed the message of it a little bit more, because I think they got a little bit too carried away with it.
I can see that. I can see all that. You know what's funny to me about, like, in terms of that Barbie, the message and everything is, like, I have this conversation. I've even had this conversation with Kenny Sparks. We did like a spoiler review on his channel. I was like, yes, it is in your face, especially the monologue and everything. But it's so funny because I see so many people comment on the movie and they still don't get it. It's like it would, but
probably for good measure.
It was in your face,
and it's probably for good measure why they don't get it, because it's so in your face. But
Lady Bird.
I'll continue on with Lady Bird. And this was also the moment where I really started to like Saoirse Ronan as an actress, because I hadn't seen her in much beforehand. The only thing I actually remembered seeing her in was The Lovely Bones, the Peter Jackson movie. Yeah. So, like, that was like one of the only things I remember seeing her in. And then I watched films like Atonement, which, by the way, depressing as hell. And then watched the movie Hannah, directed by Joe Wright, which is a very much so hidden gem. Go check that movie out if you guys haven't already.
Okay.
And obviously the Little Women movie, of course, once again directed by Greta Gerwig.
Love it.
And this movie definitely proved to me that she can just do, like, not just do great in dramas, but also she's really good with her comedy timing.
Yeah.
Like, excuse me, you said you were a virgin. Like, I was like, damn, okay. And this was also the movie that introduced me to Timothée Chalamet, believe it or not. This was my introduction to him.
Early films, yeah.
It was this and Call Me by Your Name that actually introduced me to him. So,
by two really great directors.
Yep.
Luca Guadagnino and her.
Luca Guadagnino has been on a hot streak lately, dude.
Yeah.
Call Me by Your Name, Suspiria, Bones and All, and now Challengers. That man's been on a hot streak.
I'll say that most of those are for, and I don't like Bones and All.
Fair. That's totally fair. It's not for everyone. Like,
I call it boring and all.
It's all right.
But it's fine. I understand why people like it though. Even though it wasn't for me, I just feel like there was a layer of that movie missing.
Yeah.
But Lady Bird, right? Like, it introduced you into a new version of coming of age. But, like, what was so different about this film from other coming of age stories? Because, like you said, there's a formula to it. What did it break with the formula?
Because, like I said earlier, it's a mother and daughter dynamic, not just a guy is moving to a new town, he meets a girl, changes his life, all that kind of stuff, or even vice versa. Like she is still going through her high school years. Of course, she meets a couple guys, and like that's pretty obvious. Like, it still has those tropes, but they don't focus on that dynamic of the movie. They focus on the mother and daughter dynamic and why they argue with each other so much. Like,
yeah,
it reminds me of of me and my family when I was growing up, because I didn't have the best relationship with my family.
Okay,
but again, as I'm growing older, I'm still having those struggles with my personal life. But yeah, not to get too personal. Like, I don't want to get too personal.
It's fine. It's totally fine. It's a safe space.
But again, though, I just wanted to kind of let you guys know, like, why this film really means a lot to me.
Yeah.
And yeah, man,
you saw a reflection of your life. And you know how that's special, because usually it's like, oh, it's a girl. The fact that it was two women in here and you still could relate on that level is just great writing, right? It didn't matter if it was a man or a woman. It just was the fact that what they were dealing with.
Yes, like them arguing with each other. Like whenever they argue with each other, it's like, oh my God, you guys are really speaking to me right now. Like,
and I haven't seen this movie. It's been on my watch list for years. This Shiva Baby and a couple other films with these young actors that's coming up. The only scene that I know about this film is her jumping out the car,
and she breaks her arm, and then cut to the next scene. She's on as her cast and it says "fuck you, mom."
Like, question. I'm going to watch the movie, but I have to know, why did she jump out the car? What was happening that she felt the need to do that?
I actually don't want to say why. I actually want to leave that up to you.
Okay. Because that's something major.
Yes, but it does have to do with arguments, of course.
Okay.
But I do want to say though, like whenever people ask me stuff like this, like what makes it like, is it going to be like this or that? I leave it up. I usually want to leave it up to you guys because if I just say what it is, it's just like, oh, I just ruined it.
That's totally fair.
I remember when Mike was seeing the first Omen, which, by the way, shout out Mike. He's one of the best dudes I've met here.
Awesome.
When he was seeing the first Omen, he was on a little bathroom break. He texted me like the twist because I had already seen it. And I was like if you like, is this and this so? I'm like, you're gonna have to find that out for yourself, there, buddy.
Yeah,
because
watching the movie,
I'm not spoiling shit for you. Like,
yeah,
unless it's something like really terrible. Unless it's something like really terrible, then I'm not gonna spoil it. Like, yeah, because if it's something like really bad, then I feel like I have to spoil it because
it's gonna ruin your experience with the movie.
Yeah, but like I said, for bad movies, I can spoil it because you guys deserve better. I'll just say that.
And the next movie is definitely not a bad movie. It's a movie that I saw last year for the first time and ended up loving. It's a comic book movie, but a different kind of comic book movie, and that's V for Vendetta.
Remember the 5th of November.
A classic. Talk to me about V for Vendetta, one of Natalie Portman's early movies.
Oh man, dude, there's so much I really could say about this film. Like, but then again, though, I kind of want to just keep it to a T because for anybody that has not seen V for Vendetta, you guys really do need to change that, and please go see it. Please go out of your way and buy the physical release, and please see this film. Like, I love the character of V, voiced by Hugo Weaving, by the way. You never see his face, which I love. Like, you never see his face. Or, hell, even when it comes to, like, the romantic side of the story, there's not, like, a big, like, romance kind of side to it, like, which I really like. It's a very cold-blooded story. Like, which I really like. And Natalie Portman might be her best performance, in my opinion. I can't decide between that or Black Swan.
It's definitely one of her best performances.
But most of the time, though, I do go back to V for Vendetta. But funnily enough, though, back in 2016, so this was when I was 13 years old, I actually dressed up as V for Halloween.
Oh, yeah?
Because when I went down out in the city for my brother's marching band gig, it was also the Halloween parade at that time. I dressed up wearing my V mask with what looks like his top hat in some ways.
Yeah.
And then I see this kid like across, like but it's like on like one of the corners of the street wearing the same mask but having a but not just wearing the mask but also like this kind of gig. And I was like, is this kid copying me? Like, yeah, I mean,
that mask is infamous.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, how has it not become like
a staple?
A staple, yes. Like, oh man. And I remember the first time I watched this film, I was just in utter shock of how, like, I'm like, and even like if you watch it now, you're just like, why can't comic book movies do this? Like, but we just have to get the mainstream blockbuster bullshit. Like,
and there's a lot of comic books that can do that. Like a lot of Image Comics, a lot of other stuff that can do the V for Vendetta, but they don't do it.
They don't do it because they're too scared to do so. Like, they don't want to frighten their audience for some fucking reason. I'm like, come on. Take some risks every once in a while. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And in terms of V for Vendetta, is it the first comic book film that you saw that was like this? That was different?
Yes. This was the first one that I saw that was very different. This also what kind of led me into loving a movie like Watchmen. Because of how different it was and how more unique and darker it went.
And the themes.
Yes, absolutely. And like I said, also why I love the character of V. Like, again, like, he's taking his vengeance out on these people that are taking everything from pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, even that scene, like when that guy is just continuously shooting at him, and he's like, "Why won't you die?" He's like, "There are ideas, Mr. Creedy, and these ideas are bulletproof." And I'm like,
such a cold line.
Oh shit!
So cold.
And I'm like, why can't we get like more of like this kind of character in a comic book movie world? Like, come on.
Yeah, it's tough for them to do those kind of films. A lot of people outside of Batman don't like watching these gritty kind of films. And even Batman's not as gritty as this. So
no, I don't know if I'll see a grittier comic book movie besides Logan than this.
Yeah, Logan's definitely up there.
But I don't think anything's going to top this in regards to grittiness, in my opinion. Like,
yeah. And we're gonna go from really gritty, message heavy, really dark, great performances, great action, into something funny, something real silly. One of the part of the unofficial trilogy. The movies don't really tie.
Yeah,
they don't really tie it together, but there are a trilogy.
They're still pretty gritty though. Like, let's be real though. We can say they're gritty.
Hot Fuzz.
That's
I actually
right.
haven't seen this one out of the trilogy.
Oh,
really? Shaun of the Dead. I haven't seen this.
Okay. Basically, the way I can really sell you on Hot Fuzz, Zach, is that it's basically kind of a slasher movie with cops.
The cops are the slashers? Oh, okay.
What?
No, say the cops are the slashers or somebody?
Oh, no. It does kind of play like a typical cop movie in some ways, but there's also a slasher element to it. Like, people are getting killed by this like murderous cult, and the people around this town are seeming to think it's an accident. Like, accidents that are keeping on occurring. Like 3 people, like, it's even given in the trailer that 3 people are killed within a week. And then again, once it's found out like what people are actually behind it, is actually pretty crazy, and it leads to some of my favorite action sequences like of all time.
Wow.
Like, dude. And also, if you guys love a movie like Point Break, you guys will probably love this because there's also a lot of Point Break references in this movie.
Nice.
Of course, you gotta love Simon Pegg, Nick Frost together. They're
magic.
Yes, and also I did also want to preface that Edgar Wright is my favorite filmmaker. Like, every single film I've seen from him, perfect movies. Like, I have not seen one film from him where I could say I didn't like that about it. Every single film I've seen from him is just perfect. Nice. Like, he knows how to get it right. Like, he knows how to get the story right, the comedy beats, the serious moments, and his visual style. Like, he knows how to get that right. And also, his films consistently move at a fast pace.
Yeah.
If you guys have seen Scott Pilgrim, if you guys have seen Baby Driver, like, that movie just goes...
Yeah, just moving.
Fast pace. I mean, people will say that this is probably his slowest movie, but to be fair, though, this film does move at a pretty quick pace. It clocks in at about exactly 2 hours.
Okay.
But like when the movie is over, you're like, damn, that was it? Like,
it's like, give me more.
Yeah. Also, Timothy Dalton is in this movie. If you guys don't know Timothy Dalton, one of the James Bond actors.
Yeah.
Oh man, dude, he was so good in this. That fight scene he has with Simon Pegg at the end of the movie is fantastic. Also pretty brutal too. This movie is actually pretty graphic. Like,
yeah.
Like, there are some scenes
is
in
it
this
more
movie.
serious than a comedy?
Well, it has a good balance of it. Like, I'll just say that there's a good balance, but there is definitely quite a bit of comedy in this movie. I mean, there's literally a joke that's in the trailer that just has me in stitches every time I listen to it. Like not everyone's a murdering psychopath. It's about time you realize that you and your monkey. Like, did he mean me or that? And it's a monkey plushie. Oh my brother.
Oh my god. And then in terms of Hot Fuzz, because it's not a film that I hear people talk about a lot, in terms of influences, but it is a film that I've heard about a lot, but not people don't really put in their top tens or whatever. What about this film? Did it get, because you said Edgar Wright's your favorite director, did it get you into Edgar Wright?
It actually did. Like, it was this and Shaun of the Dead that got me into Edgar Wright. But this one I can see myself watching more and actually getting into more in regards to the story beats, because because basically it's about a cop that is just too good for his job. So they send him to away to a different police unit, and where nothing really much of cause really happens until this first cult comes along, and then things go haywire. And there's also a really crazy shootout scene in the third act. Like I'm not even joking you. Like it takes place on the streets of Sanford in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I definitely got to check this out. It's a movie that I've heard of, but just haven't watched. I really like Shaun of the Dead. I like Baby Driver. I like Edgar Wright's films. Even like Last Night in Soho. But yeah, I definitely got to check out some Hot Fuzz, man. Get the Hot Fuzz on us. Another film, we're going to switch from funny to, it's not gritty, but kind of gritty, a little street. You know, you get a rapper turn actor. And that's 8 Mile.
Yes.
Talk about 8 Mile.
8 Mile. Okay. I just want to start this off by saying I am not the biggest fan of rap music.
Okay.
But I grew up listening to quite a bit of Eminem's music.
Mm-hmm.
It was mostly his modern stuff by the time I was growing up, but like I was starting to get into some of his old school stuff. Especially this song's hit, which I think also won an Oscar for this movie, which was "Lose Yourself."
Yeah,
which is by happenstance probably his best song, like without question. It's such a catchy song that, I mean, hell, he even played in a trailer for an Illumination movie, for crying out loud. Come on now. Like,
yeah. Every time you hear those chords, you know, doom, 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 you just feel it.
You're just like, I know what the song is. Let's go. But yeah, I mean, again, I grew up listening to Eminem, and when I found out that he did a movie, I was like, let's see. I watched it and I was like, dude, this guy can act his ass off. Like, this guy, like, you never see a guy like him acting in a movie, and even though he's basically playing himself.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's kind of like a loose biopic about Eminem, basically. It's basically kind of what this is in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
basically kind of showing his life when he was growing up in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's like a dramatization of his life.
Yep. Basically. That's a great way to put it, my man. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just focused on his street life or like his like times when he's like going out for rapping. It's also focused on his family life.
Yeah.
And his family side of the story is incredibly tragic. Like, the way that they handle it, like, dude, it's dark as hell. Like,
I think this movie did a great job of humanizing him, because I feel like when he came out with his music, he was kind of a caricature.
Yeah, but like when you see him in this movie, it's like, dude, like, I actually see Eminem as a real person. Like, you don't just see him as his character, like, as a rapper. anything like that. You see him as a human being.
Yeah.
And even with some of the stuff that he goes through in this film, it's like, dude, your heart is breaking for this guy.
Yeah.
And
it's just a great movie, even if you're not an Eminem fan.
Or even if you're not a big like rap person like myself. Like, I'll be clear about this. I'm more into old school rap.
Okay.
Like, like Notorious B.I.G., Tupac, that kind of stuff. Like that's the kind of stuff I'm into when it comes to rap music.
Gotcha.
And also, of course, some good old Ice Cube.
Yeah.
But
what led to you seeing this movie then?
It was just because of the fact that whenever so there's actually quite a few people around me in my school that was actually talking about this film.
Okay.
I was like, I had heard about this. Let's give it a try. And then when I watched it, I was like, why did it take me so long to watch this?
I understand that.
What took me so long to watch this?
Yeah.
Because, dude, if I was a kid watching this, dude, I would have loved this thing as a kid. Even though obviously my parents would never let me watch it, but
yeah, we can see a difference between the films you watch as a kid to when we get into the teens. They get a little bit more mature.
So exactly. Yeah. So and this was over. And this was also one of the first movies that kind of really got me into like more of mature stuff. Okay. So, I mean, even though obviously I was into some of the mature stuff, but this was the one that kind of opened up my eyes to how mature films can be.
Okay.
Especially with the film, how they handle the subject matter. Like I said, the story, the characters, and even certain themes that they tackle, like, about family, street life, and everything like that, which, again, the way that they tackle it, I mean, especially with Curtis Hansen's direction, which, by the way, he's a great filmmaker, you guys. Please check out his films. LA Confidential, Wonder Boys, 8 Mile. Please check those out.
Nice.
So, I mean, again, it did show me that Eminem can do acting.
Yeah. It's funny that he did this and this never did it again.
I mean, everybody, including myself, was surprised he never did a lot more acting roles after this.
I remember he talked about it, and he was supposed to get something that Mark Wahlberg got. I'm not remembering what film it was, and for some reason he turned it down. I think it was a boxing film. Did Mark Wahlberg do a boxing film?
Huh.
Or actually, it might
not.
Fighter.
It might not be. About The Fighter.
No, it's not Mark Wahlberg. It's Jake Gyllenhaal. What was that? Southpaw.
Southpaw. Yep.
He was supposed to do Southpaw, but he turned it down, and then Jake got it.
But I think he did the soundtrack though for Southpaw.
Yeah, he ended up being a producer for the film because he didn't want to do the lead role. So it's very, very interesting. It led you to more mature dramas, basically. Yep. So you had experience with the rom-com, sci-fi films, comic book, sci-fi nerdy stuff, but this is like a more stripped down, realistic film. Lady Bird, you can see you're starting to see more realistic films that deal with life, and then you can see like a reflection of yourself at a young age. So that's kind of dope.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's see what the comments have to say before we get to the adulthood. Brandon said, I know Crank 2 inside and out.
Oh, man.
He said, talk to me when y'all watch all the original Planet of the Apes movies. I wasn't alive when they came out, but they made me watch them. You sound like you were traumatized by that. They made me watch them.
You made me do it.
You made me do it. The new Apes trilogy is a great mix of amazing VFX and masterful storytelling. 100% agree.
1000%, dude.
The only thing I don't like about the 2010's Apes trilogy is that Dawn and Rise mean the exact same thing. It kind of does.
What? I don't see that at all.
Like the dawn of something and the rise of something is kind of it kind of is.
I get it's the same thing, but it's like, what?
Good Son was a childhood movie. Okay,
that's a 90s flick with Macaulay Culkin.
Nice. Other than the 2010s trilogy is one of the best of the modern era. Yeah, it's one of the best trilogies of all time. I agree.
Absolutely.
Fun fact, no CGI was available when the originals came out in the 60s. They used men in ape suits. I knew that for sure.
I mean, I know they used ape suits, but it's like that those do not look good. Like
he said, outside of the originals, the only apes that was good was the one with John Lithgow speaking. Speaking of that, you list is Bull and Void. If you've never seen Harry and Henderson, what?
I have seen Harry and the Hendersons. I did watch. I did watch that one quite a bit as a kid. So basically, what he's talking about is that monster that looks like one of the Planet of the Apes character is basically Bigfoot.
Gotcha. Kenny says still needs to see Lady Bird. I do as well. Sounds like a movie I would like. Little Women is fantastic. I agree.
Yes.
V for Vendetta is a classic. I agree.
Yep.
V for Vendetta is awesome and underrated comic book film. Yep.
Very underrated. Yes.
Definitely high up in my comic book films. Probably in my top 10 comic book films of all time, honestly.
Oh, easy, dude. Easy.
Huh. This is interesting. Luke might be giving you the wrong idea about Hot Fuzz. It's a parody of 90s action flicks. Think Shaun of the Dead, but for action.
That's actually kind of the idea I was trying to say.
Yeah.
But it just didn't come into fruition.
Gotcha. And that's why we got the live chat, baby, to help us out.
But thank you for that, though, Dale. I appreciate that.
The laser said, what are we doing? Sir. Read the title in the description. Word. It's in the name. Mom Spaghetti. His real name's Clarence. And Clarence. You gonna bring up 8 Mile over Juice? Come on, 8 Mile was great. I had the DVD, but over Juice? Have you seen Juice?
I have seen Juice. I have seen it, but 8 Mile was a little bit more impactful for me. Like I should have said it like that. It's more impactful for me.
Juice. What do you mean, Juice?
Bro,
he's too young for Juice to mean that much to him. There you go. That's
exactly. I mean, I actually did watch Juice for the first time during the pandemic. Like, so there's that. It's also how I also watched some other hood flicks. Was during the pandemic. That was the first time I watched Boys in the Hood. Nice. Actually, that was also the first time I watched Menace to Society, which might be my favorite out of that subgenre because of how dark and realistic the hood life is when it really comes to that movie.
Yeah,
it's great.
His real name, everybody's on this real name, Clarence. Clarence's parents have a real good marriage. Oh man.
Damn.
He said, you just said Tupac. Juice. He really loved Juice.
I can tell you do.
He said, not enough people have seen Crush Groove. I never even heard of Crush Groove.
Neither have I, dude.
So I saw Crush Groove in theaters. Wow.
That must be like a 90s movie or something.
Yeah. $2.99 for all you can eat. I'm going to stuff my face to this funky beat. No, Jake Gyllenhaal did a fight movie. M did a song for it. No, I was saying that Eminem said that he was supposed to be the lead in that film and he turned it down. Jake Gyllenhaal got it.
Yes. So there.
Eminem was also in the interview. He did.
I forgot about that. AKA the most controversial movie of all time.
Yeah.
Because that movie almost put us into war with North Korea. Like, because if you guys don't know the story about that movie was originally supposed to come out in theaters, but North Korea threatened war on us if they released it in theaters. So
that's
so they just released it to VOD. So they were like, okay, we won't release it in theaters. We're only a few people go see. We'll just let everybody watch it at home. So they were basically just like this.
go make the money over there. That's hilarious. So I made a poll before we get to adulthood, which movies that people liked out of your preteen teen hood.
But
and
I also
once again it's tied. What you said?
I also want to ask Zach, the one that I listed first for the adulthood when I sent it to you. I actually want to save that for last.
Gotcha. Okay, that's fine.
Because it's kind of a special one.
Yeah,
I'll just say that it's a special one.
It's in the thumb. So with the poll, it says V for Vendetta and another tie. We get ties again. V for Vendetta and Dawn of the Planet Apes are tied at 33%. 8 Mile. Well, actually, no, it's a 3-way tie. V for Vendetta, Dawn of the Planet Apes, and 8 Mile all at 33%, with Lady Bird with 0. And I think that's just because a lot of people haven't seen the movie. That's all.
Which, if you guys haven't, please do so. Like, I highly recommend Lady Bird. Like,
yeah, and now we're gonna be getting into adulthood. So this is actually gonna be like the last 3 years of your life, basically, right?
Yeah, basically.
20, like 18, 19, 20. So that's gonna be very interesting. So we're gonna be getting up to date with things that have influenced you recently. Adulthood. Oh, let me move that.
Yes, sir.
Adult influences. Really excited to get into this. The first film we're going to talk about is something that's very recent.
Yep.
Very
This is probably
recent
going to be
film.
the most recent film on the list.
Yeah, and it's one of the biggest films of the last couple years, actually, and that's Top Gun Maverick. Talk to me about Top Gun Maverick and why it's so influenced to you, like right now, because this movie came out, what, 2 years ago?
Yeah. So I did say this a little bit earlier that I am a massive fan of the original Top Gun.
Okay.
My dad introduced me to the original. So of course I was looking forward to this film as soon as like the first trailer for this thing dropped. And it just kept constantly getting delayed, and I was like, is this movie ever gonna come out? And so when it finally came out, May 27th, 2022, after work, I go to the theater. I sit down in my seat, and I am ready to be immersed. I'm like ready to be immersed with this movie. Yeah. As soon as Danger Zone popped in, I was like, oh, yes. Yes. And then this movie is what is. I actually want to preface and say this. This is how you do a legacy sequel.
I agree.
Like, this is how you do it, like exactly to the right key, providing a good news story, also with some backdrops to the original film. But mainly, you're telling a good story and providing a new relationship that you actually care about. Because Rooster, the one that you saw in the graphic, played by Miles Teller, is the son of Goose from the original Top Gun. I mean,
and you back together.
Yep, and you can tell from the same mustache. Yeah. And the dynamic that him and Tom Cruise provide throughout the film is fantastic. And the crew that he gets to teach for these fighter pilots are all great. I mean, you got Fanboy, you got Phoenix, you got Bob, which I think is the funniest character name for a fighter pilot. I cannot lie. But also, we also get the one that actually kind of introduced me to him, and he's actually become my dude as of recent. Glenn Powell playing as Hangman.
Yeah, man, I love Glenn Powell.
Who doesn't, dude?
He's awesome. He's just charismatic. I can't wait for Hitman.
I'm even thinking about doing a first time reaction watch along to Hitman when that comes out to Netflix.
Nice,
because dude, that would be perfect for first time reactions.
Yeah, based on what I heard from it, yeah, it looks like it's gonna be.
So, again, possibly we might get you there, dude. Again, I'll hit you up, dude.
Yep.
So, but also the fighter pilot sequences in this film, they are all real.
Yeah.
No green screen and no stunt doubles. Everybody, and I mean the entire cast, and of course Tom Cruise, were all in those planes.
It's crazy.
Which is crazy to think about. And also this film, because I remember that because in real life, Glenn Powell is actually now a pilot.
Yeah.
And
it's funny because he's in another pilot movie, right? Is it Devotion?
Devotion.
Yeah.
Which everybody thought was going to be Top Gun 3 because Glenn Powell was in it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you guys are idiots.
Look at it.
You guys are idiots.
Looks nothing like Maverick.
Yeah, especially when you got a guy in there that we can't talk about anymore. Unfortunately.
Well, we can.
Just not the way we used to.
Yeah, it's fine. That's a whole other conversation. Let's stick on.
I don't want to depress myself right now. So
yeah, let's stick on Top Gun. What are so through this? We've talked about practical effects and how important that is for you. We talked about it in your childhood, teen years, and now we're doing it in an adulthood again. And this is the ultimate use of practical effects because it ain't an effect at all. It's real people putting their lives in danger to give us entertainment.
Yes, exactly.
What about this film influenced you the most?
Again, when I was watching this film brought me back to my childhood of watching the first Top Gun. Gotcha. But also, it also might be kind of biased for me because this is the first movie, like I'm not even joking, the first film that I saw in a theater more than once.
Okay.
I saw this film in theaters twice. I saw it opening night, and then the weekend after, I took my dad to go see it because he introduced me to that original film, and he loved it. So, like, and I'm not even joking, you dude. Every single time I watch this film, I choke up. Like,
Gotcha.
every single time, dude. It's already getting to me right now, dude. I swear to God, it's getting to me.
That's very interesting because I know you for the rewatch guy. Like, you go to the theater, you watch movies often before you go see another movie. So the fact that we just found the starting point for that and how in Top Gun, I love that. That's awesome.
Yes, I'm glad, and people understand like why this was my starting point, because this was like when it came to like pretty much like most people's top 10 of the year, this was like ranked in like the top 3 for most people, and even a lot of people would even have this at number 1, myself included. This was my favorite movie of 2022.
Yeah, a lot of people.
And I'm not even joking you, dude. I was waiting for a movie to beat it, and like at every passing month, not one film beat it, and I was impressed.
And that's fair.
Because usually there would be something that would come in at the last second that would beat it. Nothing beat it. Like,
yeah, I understand that. It was a movie that I went in, I never saw the original Top Gun. I went into watching this movie because people said that you didn't have to watch it to understand it, which is true. You can watch Maverick without watching the original. It's just not as impactful because there's like references and stuff like that. But I was blown away because it's better. Yeah.
Especially to Iceman, to Goose, stuff like that,
Yeah. But it's definitely impactful film. It saved Hollywood. It's that guy.
It didn't just save Hollywood, it saved theaters.
Like, I think he saw it 40 times in theaters or something like that, and he ended up getting free tickets for 10 more viewings because they was like, this is crazy. Like, it just is amazing, how that movie carried that year.
Yeah, not just only that it carried that year, this movie saved theaters. Like,
yeah, it did.
And this movie will go down in history as the movie that saved movie theaters.
Yeah. A lot of people gave Tom Cruise's praise for that. And for me, that it will always be influential for us in the modern era because I love going to the theaters.
Yes, and it also, I agree. This was the film that made me remember like why I love going to the cinema. Getting to see an immersive epic on the big screen. Like, and I had to, and even after the first viewing, I was like, I need to see this again, dude. Like, this was just amazing.
So this next film is actually a film that I've personally never even heard of. So you're gonna have to like give me the rundown on it and really sell it to me and tell me why it's even on your list. And that's Trainspotting.
Yes. And for anybody that doesn't know me personally, if you guys have not followed my channel for the past 3 years I've been on YouTube, this is my favorite movie.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This is my favorite movie. And basically, I'll run this down. Like, let me just get this clear from the get-go. The 4 main guys in this film, Mark Renton, played by the always amazing Ewan McGregor. I'm a huge fan of his. Simon, aka Sick Boy, great character name by the way, played by Johnny Lee Miller. Begbie, played by Robert Carlyle, and Spud, played by Ewan Bremner, are all very unlikable people. Like, I'll just say that they are very unlikable characters. But the film gives you a reason to actually like. The film gives you a reason like why you are so interested in carrying on with the journey because this film is actually centered around drug addiction, the negatives of drug addiction, by the way.
Yeah.
And in this film, I can't even tell you, dude. The first time I watched this film was actually back in my junior year of high school. So I know I should have put this in the teen perspective, but this was also before I turned it was my junior year. It was when I was 16. But okay. So I did kind of mess that up a little bit, but this has been like this is the film that's been impacting me for like the past like 5 years now.
Okay.
So this was a film, and I was even in a high school play for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Anytime we were on breaks, this film was on Netflix, and I watched this film continuously. Like I just put this film on, and I could not stop watching it because I was just so impressed with what Danny Boyle was able to pull off with this kind of subject matter. Not just taking it in the serious ways. There is a lot of comedy in this movie. There is a lot of comedy, and also some very gross moments that will definitely leave you grossed out. I will tell you that. And of course, they also lean into some of the horror aspects of it, which there is one certain scene that I'm not even joking you. That is the scariest non-horror scene I've ever seen in my life.
Oh wow!
You'll know when you watch it, because I'm not going to spoil it for you. This is one of those films where it's I don't want to spoil it because you guys need to watch this as soon as you can.
So this is probably going to be the most influential film on the list because you said it's your favorite film of all time. That's a big thing. So you talked about all these great things about it, but what chord personally did it hit? Why this is your favorite film?
Because it shows why, it should also show why to people, why you should never do drugs.
Okay.
Because I've never done drugs personally in my life, and this movie actually solidifies the reason why I never did.
Okay.
Because it does kind of lean into the true horror of why you should never do that. Even especially with where the movie goes, from it's so much to talk about, but it's I can't even digest it into all words,
Yeah. So it's a lot going on because of how impactful that is. And I wanted to ask you because I see somebody just brought it up and I was thinking about it in my head. Have you seen Requiem for a Dream? Because that's a movie I just recently watched.
That is one of the most difficult films to sit through.
Yeah.
All I can say, Infected Arm.
Oh God. So because that's also an anti-drug, anti-consumerism, anti-addiction in any way kind of film. What about Trainspotting puts it over it?
Because like I said, it has a nice balance of drama, horror, and comedy.
Gotcha.
It has the perfect balance.
Okay.
And it also has a good soundtrack too.
So it sounds like it's a little bit more entertaining to watch than
but there also is some moments that will definitely leave you uncomfortable. I'll just say that it will leave you uncomfortable.
Gotcha. I love this. This is what I want from these type of interviews, is to really get it. We just talked about something, because I'm straight edge. I don't do drugs. I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke or anything like that. And I've been like that for the longest time. Just seeing stuff around me and how people act when they do drugs just kind of turned me off. And then I think the big influence for me for that was CM Punk in wrestling. When he came out and he talked about it, and it was just he's my favorite wrestler of all time, one of my favorite people. Obviously, whatever, idolize him and whatnot. So that's very, very interesting, and I definitely want to check this out because I am anti-drug as well. So and I love Ewan McGregor. Everything I've seen him in, he's fantastic. For whatever reason, his movies don't do well at the box office. Don't know why.
Which I think is criminal in my opinion.
But he's a great actor.
There was even, and this was actually also, I also do want to mention, because this was also the film that really got me to delve into smaller films, because this film was not very big back when it came out.
Yeah.
This was because this is
indie film.
Yeah, this is. So basically, you have Scottish people in this movie. This is a Scottish film, but it's still spoken in the English language.
Okay.
But it was filmed in Scotland.
Gotcha.
So, but also, if you guys are also interested, check out the sequel to this.
There's a sequel.
T2 Trainspotting. That is the sequel.
Okay. Is it good?
Check it out. It's actually really good.
Yeah. Okay. That's pretty good. And I'm looking at the distribution. Miramax, Searchlight, back in that day, 96, they were really promoting indie kind of films. So you're definitely right. Miramax and Searchlight was made for that. So that's very, very interesting.
Absolutely.
A next movie here is a movie I think I saw. I remember, I think, seeing it. So with this franchise, I remember seeing a movie on TV, well, set in like the medieval age. I don't know which version of this movie this is, but the franchise we're going to be talking about and the movie we're going to be talking about is Hellraiser.
And to clarify, the original Hellraiser.
Yeah, this is what,
the original
87 or something like that.
Yep, 1987.
1987. Was this one set in medieval times? I just remember seeing one like that.
I don't remember exactly which one it was, but I think it had to be one of the sequels.
Gotcha. Okay.
So this film,
we're getting back into
yes. But the thing about this film is that it's not just focused on the Cenobites, like, which even though Pinhead is front and center on the poster, like you think you're just gonna get Pinhead. I almost called him Poorhead. For some reason. Like when you see Pinhead on the poster, you think he's just going to be killing a bunch of people, slashing through them with that creepy ass music box that can spawn out a bunch of meat hooks. Like those are creepy, I tell you. Those are creepy.
Super creepy.
But this is a film that actually puts characters first. A good story and characters first before it decides to give you all that kind of like grindish kind of horror, even though there's still a lot of gore like still splattered into the film.
Yeah.
This is more of a character driven and story based movie.
Okay. Kind of similar to, let's say, like The Exorcist in terms of how they like invest in the characters first before the stuff starts going crazy.
Yep. Even though you don't see the Cenobites until the very end of the film, which I know to a lot of people is very disappointing.
Okay.
I mean, sure. That's what you'd be there for. So if you didn't like this one, you're definitely gonna like Hellbound, Hellraiser 2 a good bit more than this. Gotcha. But I'm saying with this movie, when it came to the story, this is based off of a story from Clive Barker, who also directed this movie, believe it or not.
Yep.
But again, he understood like you're supposed to latch onto the characters first before you get all to this like grindhouse kind of shit, you know?
Yeah.
And this movie does a good job of doing that. And it spawned a horror icon in Pinhead.
Yes. Underrated one at that.
I agree. 1,000%.
And like we've talked about like influences, obviously. Like I'm definitely gonna ask what so versus like, you know, Saw and other movies that are the similar caliber and Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Chucky. What about Hellraiser is the most, because you know it might not be your favorite horror movie, but why is this the most influential of so far in your last 5 years?
Okay. So what I want to say about that is it doesn't just like I said, it doesn't just rely on the gore and all this like batshit bonanza. There's actually a sense of weirdness to it, like because there's like a romance element to it that is actually very, very strange. It's not for everybody, like whatsoever. Like if I can use the term "not for everybody" for any movie, it's definitely this.
Gotcha. Okay.
This is not for everybody.
Yeah.
But I do also want to say this is a horror film I continuously recommend to everybody, because like for any horror fan, because if they want to see like a really good horror film with also phenomenal use of practical effects, like that's a constant throughout this stream is practical effects.
Yeah.
This movie does it perfectly. Like I'm not even joking you. Like especially when you first see the music box and the meat hooks coming out and like just going into this guy's skin, it's like, oh, like,
yeah.
The way that they use that, it's amazing. And
who introduced you to this film?
It was actually a guy on YouTube that did his horror film collection. I saw a Hellraiser in there, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" No pun intended, by the way. But I watched it this was also one of the films I first checked out during the pandemic, and every single time I've gone back to rewatch this film, like this film would not leave my mind for weeks.
Yeah,
and I have gone back to rewatch this film at least 10 times.
Wow.
Ever since then, and since then, this is my favorite horror movie.
Okay.
Hellraiser. Yes, that's right. Hellraiser is my favorite horror movie.
I love to hear it. So we're getting to the favorites here. We got the favorite movie of all time.
We're getting into the favorites here.
Horror film, and it's happening in your adulthood. We have the building blocks for these things to happen. I'm loving the connections and everything that's going on. My last question I have for about Hellraiser before I move on to the next film is: have you seen the Hulu movie?
I have, and it is fantastic.
How do you feel? Okay, I was going to ask you how you felt because I liked it. Because it does a similar thing where it gets you invested in these characters before the hell breaks loose, because the Cenobites are like towards the back half of that film.
Yes, I do agree on that, because, but again, if you have investing characters and investing story, then you're good no matter what. Like, yeah. And you actually give a shit when they're actually being ripped apart. Like, yeah,
I wish this movie got as much hype as Prey did, because it was really good. The second one,
I 1,000%, like, dude, I love both those movies. And why is that new Hellraiser not gotten a physical release yet, but Prey has? Even though I will agree though that Prey was better. Come on, where's Hellraiser?
What I think is that because Prey was originally supposed to come out in theaters and then they switched it to streaming, maybe they had a physical media deal in place. I don't know. Or it might be the popularity. I don't know. But I think Hulu should start releasing some of their movies, because Hellraiser definitely deserves a physical, like a real physical release. Because you can get it on bootleg, but I want like a real one.
Yeah, I want a real one too.
I want to support the film.
Absolutely, dude.
The next one is a film that I know about because of you. Didn't hear about this until you talked about it on one of your streams before, and you made it sound very interesting. And that is Fear and Loathing
in Las Vegas.
This movie seems trippy as hell.
And basically what you said is very correct. This movie is incredibly trippy. This is also another film that does play into drug addiction.
Okay.
This movie was directed by Terry Gilliam, which, if you guys don't know Terry Gilliam, he made films like Brazil, 12 Monkeys, Time Bandits. So he makes some very, very odd, strange movies that are definitely not going to be for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And this was also at the same time when I was getting into Trainspotting. This was also on Netflix, and also between breaks during the play, or hell, even when I was out for a band trip in Atlanta, I would also pop this one on constantly. And this movie not only will make you be like you're like, not only do you feel like you're in like the hallucinations, like when you're watching it, because there is some pretty bizarre and over the top hallucinations in this movie, and even involving like some dinosaurs in certain moments. Not joking, you dude. Like, that's actually pretty insane. But it's all thanks to the performance of Johnny Depp, which honestly might be my favorite performance from him.
Okay.
Because of how bizarre and crazy this movie is. Like, it also is really fucking funny. Like,
yeah.
And there's also some really good cameos in this movie too. That I dare not spoil. Like, for anyone that has not seen this movie, I dare not spoil these cameos. Some of them you're going to be shocked that it's actually this person. Like, especially in the opening scene. Not going to spoil who it is, but once you see that, you're like, holy shit! Like, but yeah, like I said, dude, this movie is so bizarre and trippy.
Yeah.
But it's like,
what's the main plot of it? Like, what is it? What's the main crux? What is it about?
Okay, so basically, Johnny Depp is going to Las Vegas with his lawyer, which is Benicio del Toro, and they're trying to also finish up his book, basically. But it also does do some really interesting flashback sequences in some ways, but mostly towards the beginning. Like, but obviously, they pack a huge case of drugs And like whenever they take whenever there's like drugs taken in this movie, there's some really crazy hallucinations that you're just like, is this real? Like obviously it's a hallucination, but it's like when you're watching, you feel like you have that hallucination.
It plays with your perception of reality.
Yes, absolutely, it really does. And I mean, even you can tell by the poster, like here, let me just grab it right here. You can tell from like right here, like how, like it's gonna play with you here a little bit, like
yeah.
And me and my best friend at the time would continuously just watch this movie and talk about it and like discuss it. And there was even a point that year for school, I actually wore the hat, like it wasn't exactly his hat, but I tried to dress up a little bit like Raoul Duke, Johnny Depp's character from the movie, for Halloween, because that's how much I was so into the movie.
Yeah,
it's so funny. Like
that's
there's even a critique
hilarious
on the VHS box that says it's excruciatingly funny, and I'm just like, yep.
So with Fear and Loathing and Trainspotting, right? Both films about drug use, and how one being, I guess, like one is the negatives of it. I don't know, is Fear and Loathing delving into the negatives of it, or is just the fun of it?
It is also the more realistic side of it, also to a certain extent. But like I said, there's a lot more hallucinations to kind of show the more realistic side of taking drugs.
Like what the drug person's actually seeing, the person using the drug.
Yep, exactly.
Gotcha. And I don't know if this is a personal question, too personal of a question. Is there someone in your life, you don't have to name, who uses drugs? Why you're so, like, these movies affect you so much?
No, I think it's just because of how creative they get with these kinds of, and how well they decide to, and how well they write the scripts with how witty they can be.
Yeah.
Like, because the movie is very, very clever. I mean, there's even some really crazy scenes to a point where you're just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I mean, especially Benicio del Toro. Like, there's a
Great
scene.
Actor.
There's a scene where he's in the bathtub, and it's like, dude, he is going fucking nuts. Like, so yeah, and also fun fact, he actually gained some weight for his role in that movie by eating donuts pretty much every single day.
That's funny.
That's actually true. Look it up. If you look it up on IMDb for the facts of this movie, then you will know. Gotcha.
And speaking of eating donuts, getting some sugar rush, and getting the ultimate rush, that leads into our main event, the final film of the night, the one that you wanted to talk to about the most, and that would be Crank.
Yes.
Now, I have a question, because you saved this for your last, right? And you said Trainspotting is your favorite movie, but you wanted to say this for last. Where does this rank in your favorite movies of all time?
This ranks on my number 4.
Okay.
And I know this is a very questionable choice in regards to my favorite movies, like, because I can already sense I can already sense the matches being lit in the chat right now. Like, I can already sense it. You have this like you have this one in your top 4, but not freaking like Terminator, anything like that. You don't got Back to the Future.
Yeah.
But it's like, here, these are the kind of movies that I personally see myself watching a lot more. And this was but after watching The Beekeeper, that was the film that turned me on to more Jason Statham.
Mm-hmm.
When I rewatched this, I actually watched this and the sequel, High Voltage, on Super Bowl Sunday, because I just did not give a shit about the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I forgot how blissfully over the top Crank is. Like, yeah. if you think of the word over the top, you can't get better than those two. Like, those movies are the definition of crazy, batshit, insane, over the top Jason Statham. And it's utilized very well. Like, a lot of really, like, crazy camera techniques. There's a lot of really weird editing styles. And and a lot of crazy shit ensues when you watch these movies. Like this, the first film goes from 1 to 13 within not even 5 minutes. Like,
it's like goes
and like
super hard, real fast.
It goes super hard, like real fast, and it does not stop. Like both movies. Like even after where because the second one picks up right where the first movie ends. Like after his surgery with his heart being replaced with a mechanical heart, the movie just goes woo. Like it just goes way off. Like and I don't mean like off the rails. Like the movie just does not stop.
Yeah.
And
that's kind of the premise of it, right? It's Crank. If you don't know, is like something happens to his heart, and if he doesn't,
he gets injected with poison in the first movie.
Yeah.
So basically, he has about an hour to live, and he has to keep his heart rate up. Like he has to let it keep he has to keep his heart rate going fast. He can't let it slow down, otherwise he will die.
He will die. Yeah. So what about this film, other than it's fast paced, which you've talked about a lot in terms of pacing of film, fast pace. We talked about this during the Hot Fuzz section. Is that what it is? Is it the adrenaline rush that you get from this film? Why is one of your favorites?
Oh yes, absolutely. It's the adrenaline rush. Like the movie does not stop.
Yeah.
And like I said, the movie, both movies are not afraid to do what they want to do. Like they even have some pretty crazy sex scenes in both movies. And they both are in public. I'm not even shitting you.
Yeah, I posted one of them on this little thing, a graphic I did. Yeah, I saw. I was like, whoa.
That's in the first movie. In the second one, it's on a horse race track.
Of course.
Bro, once you see that and you watch it with our commentary, holy shit.
It's hilarious.
Dude, you are gonna laugh your ass off, man. I guarantee it. And also the film, even if they don't have even if both Crank movies don't have really that good of acting, you don't care about that. Like you're there because
not what you're there for.
You're there because the film is not gonna stop. It's an adrenaline rush. And yes, it's goofy. And I mean extremely goofy.
Yeah.
Like they're both just cartoons basically.
But it sounds rewatchable.
They're very rewatchable. It's also, those are basically movies that you should basically also watch with friends.
Yeah.
Because basically you can just crack jokes and you'll still be paying attention to the movie.
Yeah, so it's like a hangout film.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, even when I showed this to Mike, he was dude, he was having a ball with it when I showed this movie to him the first time before we did the watch along, because it was Gavin and Cam's first time watching the movie. Yeah. And they were having a blast with it too. I mean, even the way the first film ends, it's you're just that's how it ends?
Yeah.
Because the first Crank has one of the funniest endings I've ever seen. Wow. I'm not joking you. It's so fucking funny.
And in terms of influence, right? Did this movie, is this your start of your Jason Statham love? Is that what this is?
Well, it's also kind of what's kind of bringing me back to more dumb over the top action movies. But they have a sense of wit to it. I would say that's also kind of a common topic I've been talking about this stream is wit. Wit
inside the film, yep.
And they have a sense of humor, and again, there's something to it. There's not just oh yeah, we're just being stupid for the sake of being stupid. It's not like modern Fast and Furious movies where they're just oh hey yeah, we're gonna go up into space.
Yeah.
Where just all the laws of physics are broken, completely, and you're just this isn't fun anymore.
Yeah, there's still a sense of danger inside of Crank.
There is there's the only sense of danger is when his heart is slowing down.
Yeah.
That's really the only sense of danger with that, and it's even in the second movie. because his heart is now mechanical because they replaced it. And he basically has to electrocute himself to keep himself going. Like there's one where he has to tase himself. He puts electrical jolts on his body, even on his tongue. I'm not joking you. Like you look up that poster. It's even my profile pic of the second Crank.
Yeah.
Like he has that electrical jolt, like really pinched on his tongue. And I'm like, if you can't get crazier than this, Jason Statham, you really just can't.
So yeah, that was a great main event. With Crank, one of the craziest movies ever made. In one of your top 4s. I put a poll up to see how people felt about your adulthood films, and let's end the poll. Let's see what the results are. So with 75% of the votes, it is Top Gun Maverick.
All right.
25% for Trainspotting, and yeah, those are the only 2 movies that got votes.
All right.
That's very, very interesting. They gave 0 to Crank, 0 to Fear and Loathing, which is surprising, but
that's all right. I mean,
it's all right.
But again, though, Crank is also one of those films I want people to watch just because, it's a really crazy movie, but then it's like you're having fun watching it. Like,
yeah, it's a good time.
Oh, absolutely.
So the way we're gonna end it, we're gonna finish up the chats where you missed. I have 21 questions I usually ask just as a film fan. We'll run through those real quick, trying to rapid fire, and then we'll answer those like Q&A questions that people are asking, and then we're gonna wrap the stream up. Okay.
All right, sounds good.
All right, Tank came in. What's up, Tank Kramer? What's up? You probably long gone now. Kush Grew came on 85, starring Run DMC, Sheila E., The Fat Boys, Blair Underwood, and cameo by LL Cool J. That sounds cool.
Very cool. We'll check it out.
Y'all never heard of Crush Groove. I can't with them anymore. Hey, man, look, you're like 30 years older than me. You're going to see movies that I've never seen. He said they're youngins. Yeah, like my mom is older than me. She saw a movie I've never saw before. Of course. Why would I be watching Crush Groove?
Exactly.
It came out in 85. That's 15 years before I was born. I wasn't even a thought. My mom was taking care of my brother and my sister. She's thinking about me. Crush Groove is a story of Def Jam. Oh, that's cool.
Cool.
Kenny Sparks said Top Gun Maverick is phenomenal.
Yes, it is.
I really liked Top Gun growing up. Rewatched it before Maverick and found it to be not great. Maverick, though, is excellent. I can see that.
I even rewatched it before I saw Maverick. I mean, I still love it. I mean, it's mostly my nostalgia goggles that are speaking. Even if I just took those off, I probably still love it. Like,
love it. Great choice with Top Gun Maverick.
Thank you.
Love Top Gun Maverick. IMAX made it even better. I agree.
I wish I got to see it in IMAX. Like
the first
if I got to see an IMAX 3D, dude, though, that would be amazing.
That would have been amazing. He said Top Gun. I can't with this stream anymore. I'm the biggest Tom Cruise dick rider there is, but way better Tom Cruise movies out there. I understand that.
I do not agree at all. I think that is the best Tom Cruise movie.
And that's fair. That's a fair opinion. But also, this stream is not about the best movies. It's about the movies that influence you the best. Yes. There are movies that influence your taste that might not be in your top 10, but that's the reason why you got into something. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like the Goonies is not necessarily your top 10 favorite movies of all time, but it's on this list because it got you into something else and opened up your world. And that's what really matters. So just saying that, because he has a bunch of comments where he's not understanding what we're doing. And that's how you understand Brandon. It's not about what the best movies are or the biggest classic is. It's about what influenced you. Top Gun Maverick, for him, saved theaters, which is true. It's not even like opinion. It's basically a fact. It did.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's a connection with his father. His father showed him the original Top Gun for him to come back with the new one. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, there you
go. He said, Tom Cruise movie I grew up on, Legend. That's cool.
The movie Legend from the 80s. Okay.
Well, yeah, because he's 65. Of course, he saw everything.
The way you just keep picking on him like that is so fucking funny.
I'm just adding more to his actual age than he is.
You just have like all the layers to it.
He said, I believe we are getting Top Gun 3 as well. Yeah, the rumor is
we're confirmed that we are getting a Top Gun 3. So
And we're supposed to be getting a spin-off show with the cadets from the Top Gun Maverick.
I am there for it. I'm there.
Yeah. He said Days of Thunder is better than Maverick. I love Tom. Collateral is better. That's fair if you think those are better.
Don't agree though.
Yeah. Have movies gotten better, or is more graphics have gotten better? It's
Can't tell you.
All subjective.
All it's like, because to be fair, all film is subjective after all. Like,
yeah, like it depends on what kind of film you like. Some people don't care about VFX.
Exactly. I mean,
Maverick is a great film, but influential. The story was super generic, no clear villain. But you saw.
But that's the thing, though. There's no clear. That's what I love about it. There's no clear villain. Like, there wasn't even a clear villain in the first movie.
Yeah, that's not the point of the film.
Like, you're there because of the characters and
the spectacle.
Yes, exactly. There you go. Thank you, Zach.
I think Batman probably would have been the closest. I think Batman might have that. Okay, so I think he's trying. I remember him saying this. He thinks Batman was the best movie of that year, which is fair.
It was in my top 3 for sure. Like, it was my number 3 movie that year. So.
But in terms of saving the theaters, it's Top Gun. Batman did well.
Easy.
It did like 700 million, which is really good. But Top Gun and Avatar
Top Gun made over $1 billion, dude.
Yeah, those 2 movies really helped. He said, BS, Zach, how have you not seen Trainspotting? Just like how I haven't seen a lot of movies.
I mean, at least you're upfront about this. Like, you call yourself the baby cinephile. Like, you're upfront about it, Zach. That's what I like.
Yeah. But based on what you're saying, now it's on my watch list. I want to go see this.
And
great choice with Trainspotting. Thank
you.
First of all, welcome to the live stream. Candidate Movies, love you guys. That's a very big call to say. I think personally, Batman is better than Top Gun Maverick. That's totally fair.
There's quite a few people that think that, and that's totally fine. I mean, if you told me that the Batman was your movie that year, I would not argue with you. Like,
it's a great movie. It's a top 5 movie of that year.
I mean, or hell, if you told me Everything Ever All at Once was your movie that year, I would not argue with you. Exactly. I'm not going to argue with you. That was in my top 4.
Yeah. I saw Trainspotting for the first time back in 2010 during the pandemic, during my first unseen movie marathon. Definitely one of the best movies I watched during that time.
Yes.
But Top Gun definitely the second best movie of 2022. That's fair.
Totally fair, man.
He said, I can't with the stream anymore. He's like, he just can't with the stream anymore. I mean, about Requiem for a Dream.
But it's like, am I going to rewatch that one more than Trainspotting? Absolutely not. Like, there's no way. I watched it twice. Like, I'm not joking you. I've seen Requiem for a Dream twice. I know it's one of those movies that you can only watch once. I watched it twice, and I think twice is good enough for me. I can never watch it again.
Yeah, I'll watch it again, but it's going to be years before I watch that movie
again. I mean, even if I was to watch it again, though, like if I got a girlfriend that said, "Hey, you want to watch Requiem for a Dream?" I'd be like, "Sure." Well, let's.
Yeah. But I'm not going to go and just watch it on my own.
I'm not just gonna like decline it on her because that'd just be rude.
Yeah.
I'd just be like I'd be a good boyfriend, and I'd be like, "Sure."
The movie said he hasn't seen Hellraiser yet. Definitely
get on it out.
I saw Fear and Loathing for. You see how he hasn't seen Hellraiser? That is a classic film. People don't see things. I saw Fear and Loathing for the first time last year. Trippy is very accurate.
That is very correct.
My favorite Johnny Depp performance is in Ed Wood.
Ed Wood's great. That's another really good. That's not from Fear and Loathing is not from Tim Burton, by the way. That's that movie's actually from Ed Wood is actually from Tim Burton.
Nice. Trainspotting over Fear and Loathing. Okay,
I can agree, but Fear and Loathing is actually also my top 10 movies of all time. So there's that.
Thinking about them side by side, there are some interesting parallels between Fear and Loathing and Crank.
And I think he's kind of meaning with both films' style.
Yeah,
with how they're made. So
he says both movies are like taking a journey with a character who gets high, state them on adrenaline, and escalates their behavior and gets crazier as they go. Yeah,
that's actually correct. Like, the behavior gets crazier as the film goes along. So
and they both are kind of getting a drug, you know.
I mean, even Jason Statham has to even snort coke even at one point to keep himself going. And I mean, he even like takes a bunch of energy drinks from a convenience store, even like a bunch of Red Bulls. And I'm like,
that'll get your heart pumping.
Like, that'll keep you going for sure, man.
Yeah, I have to see the Crank movies. Me too. I've always wanted to watch it, just never. I want to watch it with somebody. I don't want to watch it on my own.
Call me in, dude. I'll watch them with you.
I watched Crank and I thought it was really stupid. Not for you.
It's
That's
really
fair.
it is, but again, it's embracing why it's dumb.
Yeah, there are movies that are stupid, but it's supposed to be stupid.
Crank and Crank 2 are the prime examples of stupidity.
Yeah. Over the years of my favorite Depp movie has slowly become Sleepy Hollow. Curse of the Black Pearl still takes my top spot for now, though.
Great picks, though, Sully. Great picks, dude.
Favorite Statham might be the first two Transporter films. Was wild by the stunts he did and how cool he was.
Yes, he actually did his own stunts with those two movies, and by the way, those are the only two good Transporter movies. The third one sucks. And is there a fourth one? Oh wait, you're talking about an Audi car commercial? Get the fuck out of here! I'm not joking. You, Transporter Refueled is an Audi car commercial. That's all it is.
They probably funded the film. Fair and Loathing, I'm going to purchase during the Criterion sale for 4K. I'm not paying full price. That's fair.
I think I got the Blu-ray for that for like $10. So
it's not bad. Never seen Crank. Yeah,
Michael,
it's another movie you can put on your watch list.
Michael, I can just tell you right now, man, you are in for a treat.
Yeah. So let's get into the rapid fire movie lover questions. 21 real quick questions. Just answer them off the top of your head as fast as you can. Okay.
All right.
What is the first movie you watched?
One that I first remember watching. I'd say Toy Story.
Toy Story. Which movie genre do you dislike the most?
Oh, that is a really tough question. Like, I'd say probably like least favorite genre. I'll just go like least favorite genre. Like currently, I'd say like more. I'd say like Hallmark romance, that kind of stuff. Like I'll go with that.
Fair. Yeah, that makes sense. That would probably make our friend Noah upset because he loves it.
Sorry, buddy.
But how did your passion for film start?
Noah. Like I'll give you this about Noah. At least he understands. Like,
yeah, he loves it, but he understands why other people don't love him.
Yes. So,
like, I had a whole conversation about that. How did your passion for film start? That's a very good question.
Oh, like, I think it was because I watched like so much TV as a kid, like mostly cartoons as a kid, and then it was also like when I watched the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, like when I was like, I don't know how they could even do this into a movie, but they did.
They did it. That's very interesting. What is the most visually stunning movie you've ever seen?
The Creator.
Very good looking movie. Some crazy, especially in the third act, some stuff. I'm like, how did they do that?
And also for the budget that they had for that movie.
Yeah.
Gotta love Gareth Edwards.
Amazing. Can't wait for his Jurassic Park or World or whatever they're
called. Really quick before you ask the next question, I am going to move spots here really quick, so just give me a couple minutes.
Gotcha. Do you think?
Because my phone is about to die, so I don't want to die like midway through the questions. So
yeah, gotcha.
I don't want to do that.
I'm gonna look at the live chat while you do that. Let's see. Fair Loven. iRobot. It's an Audi commercial. I can see that. Crank makes you feel like you're on the same drugs as him. That's kind of dope. My favorite Johnny Depp movies are Sleepy Hollow and Pirates of the Caribbean. All of them. Nice. I'm going to take this time to give a shout out to my channel members. As always, on the producer tier, the Spoiler Kings, Screens and Reviews, Basic Moose, the Net Blood Rose, and Have You Seen with T. Thank you guys for being a supporter at that level. Appreciate all of you guys as well. Hopefully you're liking the videos that I'm starting to release. I'm going to try to release at least one member exclusive video a week. I'm going to slowly be getting that done. Appreciate all you guys.
All right, we're back.
And Mr. Ponto is back in action. Next question is, what is a movie that not many have heard of about that you've already seen?
Oh, there's actually quite a bit of those, actually, believe it or not. Like
what's one that you have to that comes to the top of your head, like, oh, I want to suggest this?
Yeah, it's a good question though, dude. I have to admit that's a really good question. Not many have heard of. Dude, like, it's really stumbling my mind though. I cannot lie, man.
What about that movie behind you right there to on your poster, The Night House?
Okay, yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that as my answer for right now.
That's a good one. I still haven't seen it yet, but I want to see it.
Check it out, man. It's really good.
Which movie quote do you live by? This is interesting because you know movie quotes on the top of your head. So that I'm wondering.
Oh, absolutely. Like, God, dude, I'm choose your future, choose life from Trainspotting.
Nice. From your favorite movie. I love that. What are your top 5 favorite actors?
Okay, this is not going to be in any particular order whatsoever, but these are just going to be my 5 picks personally.
Mm-hmm.
Ewan McGregor, okay. Jason Statham, of course. I mean, plays into my factor here.
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke. I mean, why would I not? Like, come on.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think here for a second here. Leo DiCaprio for pretty much the obvious reasons.
Yeah, great actor. One more.
And yeah, I'm trying to think this one third. Paul Dano.
Great actor. I recently saw him outside of my job. Just walking around. No one even know who he is. Hilarious.
That's funny. Which, by the way, if you guys also want to see like something from Paul Dano that's not like what he done previously, please check out Dumb Money.
Yeah, I recently watched that. Great film.
And because that was actually funny enough, Zach. After I saw that, I was like telling everybody in the group chat to go watch it. Like, I was like, you guys, go watch Dumb Money, please. Like, yeah, no one's talking about this, and it's making me very sad. Please watch it.
Yeah. Really good movie. Definitely check it out. I think it's on Netflix now.
It is. So, yeah, guys, if you guys have, who doesn't have Netflix right now, please watch it. It's so good.
What do you think of book to movie adaptations? Just your general thoughts, real quick.
Sometimes I think they kind of just follow the trope most of the time of like changing too much. But there are some that are morally faithful to the novel. Like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, I can say, because I've actually read the book. Yeah. I can even say that about a couple of John Grisham movies, like The Rainmaker, Runaway Jury, The Firm, or hell, The Client, or A Time to Kill. Like I can say that about those movies because I read the books.
Yeah. What have you learned from foreign films?
Not all of them, like you don't always just want to read subtitles while watching them, like because you're so invested with where some of these foreign films are going. Examples like Godzilla -1, I Saw the Devil, Parasite. Like those are like the 3 go-to foreign films for me. Like, or also Bicycle Thieves, which is a 40s movie.
Great films. Mood for Love, Man from Nowhere. Some great foreign films.
Yep.
How long should a movie be? It's always an interesting question.
Okay. And that is a great question there, Zach. That is a great question. I think it morally depends on what kind of story you're telling. Like, if it's like a grand scale epic movie, I'd say like about 2 hours 45. But if it's like straightforward, like if it's like a straightforward dumb action movie, I'd say like about 90 minutes. Or hell, if it's just a straight up just straight up raunchy comedy, also about 90 to 100 minutes. Because that's what I feel like some comedies have been really over. Like, I feel like some comedies have been really overstaying their welcome quite a bit recently. They're close to 2 hour runtime. Like example, like Ricky Stenicki. If you guys have watched that one, that one's almost 2 hours long. It did not need to be, dude, because that movie felt so slow.
Yeah,
for that
like
kind of
if you're a comedy, hour 20, hour 30 is a sweet spot.
I mean, the Jackass movies, like the Jackass movies, are only like 90 minutes.
Yeah.
So and like and again, they're just stupid guys doing stupid shit. Like, and it's like you're there to watch that for 90 minutes. And that's if you guys are like, well, these guys are just idiots, you're missing the point.
Yeah,
that's all I gotta say. You're missing the point.
What films do you think should not have won Oscar for Best Picture? Just give me one.
Crash. That's kind of just the obvious pick.
The census.
I'll go with I'll go with one that people may not be expecting from me. Yeah. I'd say The Shape of Water.
I've heard that before. Yeah,
I would have given it to either Get Out or Lady Bird that year.
Yeah, Get Out definitely deserved it.
But I can't say for this year's Best Picture winner, Oppenheimer 1,000% deserved it.
I agree.
Can say that. But if it was like, even though I really enjoyed it, I don't think Barbie would win Best Picture in my personal opinion. Like, I would have given it to something like Poor Things or American Fiction or something like that.
Yeah.
But since it was Oppenheimer, I'm cool.
I'm fine with it too. What's one movie you would recommend to a stranger to get to know you?
Whoa, you're bringing in the big guns here, dude. I like it. I like it that you're bringing in the big guns, dude. I like it.
And if you're in the chat, answer all these questions. It's not just for him.
I think I'd probably say Eraserhead.
Ooh, okay.
David Lynch's Eraserhead.
Yeah. Let's see. What films are you looking forward to watching? Let's just say your most anticipated film for this year.
Can I name like 3?
Yeah, go ahead. 3 is fine.
Okay, so I will definitely go with Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, obviously, and that's also my birthday movie. So, nice. And then Twisters. I'm a huge fan of that Twister movie, and Glenn Powell, my dude. And even though I never played the games, I'm still excited because it looks like a ton of fun. Borderlands.
It does look like a fun film.
I mean, come on, dude. Jack Black playing Claptrap the robot. And dude, and you got Ariana Greenblatt from Barbie playing as Tiny Tina, and she fits the part perfectly.
To the T.
Like seriously, she's dude. Like time to make it rain with your body parts.
It's gonna be great.
That's perfect.
What's one thing the internet has done to change the film industry, in your opinion?
I'm actually not gonna lie to you. Like to kind of change the film industry is what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
I can say sometimes response to when you see a trailer to a certain movie. Example like Sonic the Hedgehog. That's what kind of changed the movie to like that's what kind of got the studio to redesign the character because of the response.
Yeah.
And I was like, why can't we just get that now? Like we're just like just do it right the first time. We don't have to get that response.
Yeah, and we're getting instant responses instead of they go to the theater and then you find out later.
Yeah, they were just like redesign Sonic. Like,
yeah, like all right, they did it.
Which unfortunately did have to delay the movie, but that's okay.
Yeah, it made it better.
It made it better, and it got more hype for the movie, and I mean, it made me a Sonic fan again. Like,
yeah. What's your go-to food and drink while watching a film?
I mean, go-to food is definitely popcorn, and I would say like for candies, it's definitely Mike and Ike's. Drink is the Dr. Pepper. Like, that's easy for me.
What do you think about animated movies? Are they just for kids?
Not all of them. Let me just say that. Not all of them are just for kids. Because, I mean, if you see films like Soul or Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, they're not really just targeted for kids. I mean, there's even some animated films that are not just that are definitely aimed towards kids, but also may have some adult jokes in them. Like, I'll give you an example. Like most recently with Migration, there's actually some adult jokes in that movie or even like some that actually might correlate to the real world. Like the food Duckle Orange. People are just like, oh, that's just a dumb duck joke. That's real food. Like that is real food. Like look it up online and you'll be like, oh shit, that's actually real. Like, so
what's your favorite movie genre?
I'm always either deciding between action or horror.
Okay, that's fine.
But it depends on what day you ask me, to be honest with you.
What's your favorite movie scene?
I think I'd oh man, dude. I think I'd probably have to trying to think of like one that like really like just goes snapping right into my mind. Oh my god, dude. Again, dude, that is a great question. I think I'd probably say the axe murder scene in American Psycho when he murders Paul Allen. Yeah, when Patrick Bateman murders Paul Allen, who was played by Jared Leto.
Yeah,
bro, that scene is so damn funny, and you don't even feel bad for laughing, like, because if you take that movie seriously, you will think it's the dumbest shit ever. Like,
of course.
So,
what's a movie you wish you never watched?
Oh. No, I don't think anybody has even heard of this movie, and probably for good measure. Thunderpants.
It sounds terrible.
Yeah, it's about a kid who has an ability to just fart, and if somebody takes the fart counter of that film, because somebody actually did a fart counter for that, and it was about 50.
Oh my god!
And I'm just like, and
did
every
you sit
time
through
you
the
hear
whole
that,
thing?
and how nonsensical it is. And it's not just nonsensical in a fun way. It's just the movie does not make any sense. Like,
it doesn't sound like it makes any sense.
It doesn't, Zach, and I'm sorry. I had to introduce you to that. I deeply apologize.
What's one quality you look for in a great movie?
Oh, I would say in certain films, I look for heart. Like if a film has a heart to it. Like say with some of my favorite movies, like Top Gun Maverick, it has heart to it. And or what else? The Holdovers. Oh, I think we lost him. Oh no, guys. I think we lost Zach. This is not good. It's never really. Oh,
I'm back.
I was about to say, what the hell happened, dude?
No, that was crazy the whole time, and right when I'm about to get to the question. Well, the last question we know is, what's your favorite movie? It's Trainspotting.
Yeah, for sure. And I already revealed that when we were talking about it, so
that's totally fine. So these questions I start real quick. I like, despite the fact it was more about Wade, all Knuckles scenes were awesome. How are you, Zach? Or did you get to watch Knuckles?
I am going to watch it. I was gonna watch it last Friday, but after I watched Love Lies Bleeding, I was just like, I better wait because I need time to process that, and I not only did I take the time to process that, I literally watched it again when I got back home from Challengers. Nice. I watched it again because I was like my mind was just so infatuated with it that it's now my number one of the year. So
Love Lies Bleeding?
Yep, it's my number one.
Nice. I love that movie. It's so good.
I know what people are thinking. It should be Doom Part 2. Sorry.
That's your number 3 now?
Yep, number 3 because Civil War is also above it right now.
Gotcha. Did you see Boy Kills World?
My theater did not get Boy Kills World, unfortunately. But
gotcha.
Again, the thing I'm happy about is that they got Challengers because I was actually really wanting to see it after I saw the first trailer, and so I was really happy about that. But I'm gonna be honest with you, the one that I was actually really scared they were not gonna get was Monkey Man.
Yeah,
I was really scared. I was like they had it on the list for a while, but I thought they were gonna pull a Joyride in Last Voyage of the Demeter on me, where they were gonna remove it last second, and I would be like, no. But thankfully that didn't happen. I was able to see Monkey Man, and it's phenomenal.
This is a question for you since I haven't seen the movie yet.
I will be honest about this. The Lord of the Rings films are great, for sure. They're great movies. They're great epic scale movies. I'm just not I just don't feel like I'm really the target person for that.
Mm-hmm.
I can admit they're all fantastic movies.
Yeah.
I just don't think I'm gonna just like those are not the films I gravitate towards when it comes to long movies. I gravitate towards something like the Batman. I gravitate towards like Oppenheimer. Hell, I'll even gravitate towards like Babylon. Like,
yeah. He said, I saw you, man. Have you seen Boy? Okay, we answered that already. He said, Luke, please watch Heavy Metal. It's awesome. So you have a recommendation.
I will put that on my watch list.
He said, warning for Heavy Metal. It ain't for kids. Well, luckily he's not a kid. And he said, my Alamo is not showing Monkey Man anymore. Damn, that sucks.
Yeah, my theater got rid of Monkey. Funnily enough, though, my theater did get rid of Monkey Man after after Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare and Abigail came into my theater.
Gotcha.
They got rid of Monkey Man, unfortunately. But I did do a great double feature that night, though, which was, like I said, Ungentlemanly Warfare and Abigail, which were both awesome.
That sounds like a fun time. I really liked Abigail a lot.
But I did a double feature of First Omen and Monkey Man, though, when they came out. And First Omen surprised the hell out of me on how good that was. Like, it
was really, really good. I thought it was great, honestly. I'm not gonna lie.
I thought I was one of those people. Like, I mean, I was pretty much on everybody's side. I thought it was going to be dog shit because it just seemed like another cash grab prequel to me. After I watched it, I was like, okay,
maybe put something into it.
Like, and there was actually a sense of grime to it. Like,
yeah, oh yeah,
especially when it came to that ending. Like, I'm not even joking, you dude. A couple of the pregnancy scenes in the First Omen almost made me puke.
Woo! Like, that the one with the hand? Oh.
And also towards the end, that also. Speaking of which, though, I also did watch Immaculate.
Yeah.
Which, fantastic movie. I think that movie's awesome. I love it.
I liked it too a lot.
I think
very similar movies, but very different too.
I think that one's my favorite horror movie of the year so far is Immaculate.
Nice.
Because I think that one's more ballsy than the First Omen, and it moves at a better pace, in my opinion.
I agree.
Same thing though, dude. Like, there was actually a couple scenes in Immaculate that almost made me puke. Like, oh man, we lost him again, guys. What's happening? Zach, you good, dude? Froze again, guys. Oh, looks like I'm here. I don't got much else to say, but what's up, guys? Oh yeah, and guys, in case you guys were wondering about the Truffle Shuffle poster, there it is, right here. Oh. I honestly do not know what happened, you guys. I don't. Yeah, I'm struggling. Oh, there he is.
I'm going to fight Optimum. And updated it, and ever since then, it's been garbage. Like, I have it plugged directly into my laptop. It's not even Wi-Fi.
Wow.
Exactly. And I got kicked off. So before a disaster happens again, let me wrap this up. I know there's a bunch of questions that came in, so let's speed through them real quick and then wrap up. Let's see. Johnny Depp. Yeah. I should have said hi to Paul Dano. Yeah, I know. I enjoyed Monkey Man. I got to pick it up physical media. He said he would have took out Birdman out of Best Picture, Creep of Water out of Best Picture. Okay. Pop the popcorn. Hey, Katie.
What up?
I feel a movie should be as long as it needs to be to tell a story. I agree. The movie I recommend a friend would be the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Well, that's not a movie. That's a whole franchise.
That's a whole franchise. God damn it.
The movie you should see to get to know me is Lion King, Forrest Gump, and Speed. Those are his 3 favorite movies of all time.
Speed's a good pick.
Those are great questions, Zach. Thank you so much.
Yeah, those are really good questions, man.
The movie I wish that did not win was Chicago. I've heard that before.
I love Chicago.
My least favorite genre is horror and romance. I love both of those. Appreciate that. Everyone hit that like button. I appreciate you guys. Movie I wish I never watched was Fantastic Four.
No, Michael, it's not Fantastic Four. It's Fan Four Stick.
Yeah. Again, that's the first movie I've ever started and couldn't finish. I turned that shit off after 30 minutes. Again, see Heavy Metal, full on rated R. Paropolis, Anomalisa, Akira, Waltz with Bashir are also excellent animated movies.
Anomalisa, yes, that is a phenomenal film.
Nice. What I look for in a movie is a good story, good directing, and a good cinematography. Nice.
Perfect.
A movie I wish I'd never seen was Glass. Oof.
I love Glass.
I still haven't seen Split, Glass, or Unbreakable. Definitely on my list.
Definitely check them out, dude.
Lord of the Rings films are not my cup of tea. That's totally fair.
Not for everybody, dude.
Monkey Man must have bombed. That's why it probably was out of the theaters. It didn't bomb, but it didn't do amazing.
Which I think is sad, unfortunately, because that movie is
so good.
Oh, man, it's so good.
This is a good question, Ponto. What's one thing you wish you could add to your channel? Whether it's an equipment, a series to do, or any artistic improvements?
Well, there is a series I do want to do on the channel here pretty soon. It's kind of like a little game night for my live show. It was because my friend Tracy, a nerdy film girl, which by the way, shout out to her, she's awesome.
Yeah,
suggested this last time I had her on the show. Of a keep, watch, burn game night, where basically we list off movies, like 3 movies, and we put which one in each category. So
that would be cool. That would be fun.
Yeah, so I'll have to get that into fruition here pretty soon.
Have you seen Buried with Ryan Reynolds? Yes, it's a great film.
Intense as hell, though, dude. Like the ending. Oh God,
got me right here.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite movies, though. It's so good. Yeah.
When did Zach turn white? He's stupid. What's up, Perp? That's how you come in?
Is that supposed to be like a mean comment or something? Like, what the hell?
No, because I was gone and you were the only one here.
Not to be offensive, though, that did sound a little bit racist.
No. He's just being
I know he's kidding, but it's like, but just the way he said it, though, made it sound a little bit racist, in my opinion. Like,
he said, "Are you guys seeing the Fall Guy? Are you seeing Fall Guy this Friday?"
I am seeing it Friday.
I'm gonna be seeing this Friday too. Got to get my tickets.
I am so excited, dude. I'm still debating on whether or not I'm going to see that card movie, Tarot. I'm still debating on whether I'm going to watch it.
Probably not going to watch it. It looks good.
I mean, I will, just because, I want to just get it out of the way and also use up one of my coupons. Because I have like 6 coupons. I have like 6 $10 movie theater coupons that I still have not even used.
Oh, okay.
So I have to get one. I have to get one of them used up. And usually I want to use them on a movie that I don't feel like I want to pay my own money towards.
Makes sense.
Example, like I did that with Madam Web, and that movie I was like, I'm surprised I didn't give that movie my actual money, because that was one of the best theater experiences I've ever had. But
I remember you said that, and I was like, this guy has to be joking. But then I was like, oh, okay, I get what you're saying, because I had a great experience watching that movie too.
Yeah. But with but with something like Imaginary, though, I definitely paid the coupon to watch that movie. I was not paying my own money to watch it, because I knew it was going to be bad, but I wanted to see if it was actually going to surprise me, or if it was going to be just as shitty as I thought. And wouldn't you know, it was just as shitty as I thought, if not worse.
Did you go see Mufasa trailer? No, I haven't checked it out yet.
I don't really care, to be honest with you. It's coming out the same day as Sonic 3, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
So why should I care?
Yeah. Seeing early IMAX for Fall Guy on Wednesday. Nice.
Let us know,
Friend
man.
of the channel, friend of the community, Dark Movies, has saw it early because it came out in Norway a week early, and he says phenomenal. So I'm excited.
I cannot, dude. The trailer sold me. Like,
it looks really, really fun.
I'm just a stunt guy. Like that's perfect line delivery from Ryan Gosling.
Word. I love Ryan Gosling. He's so good. I want to watch Madam Web to see how bad it is. Well, it's going to be on streaming.
Prepare yourself for a little ride there, buddy.
Yeah. Do you think Craven Hunter will be the Morbius of this year? I think Madam Web is the Morbius of this year.
Well, at least I'll just say that Madam Web was to me, Madam Web was everything Morbius wanted to be.
Yeah.
But just failed on it completely every single level. Because
that's funny. I just said that. But I've heard that I haven't seen Morbius, but I heard Madam Web is better.
Madam Web, at least, I actually had fun watching it. Morbius just bored me to death, dude. Like,
yeah.
And for a while, dude, even like at the end of the year before I watched Jeepers Creepers Reborn, which, by the way, fuck that shit. It's horrible.
You've told me this before.
But before I watched that, Morbius was actually my least favorite movie of 2022. Like, it's that bad. Like, I watched it in theaters. I tried falling asleep at least like 3 times. I tried watching it again when I bought the movie. I could barely even get through it. I got halfway through and I turned it off.
Damn. Well, they pushed Craven to December, though. They definitely did.
Well, it's not even going to compete with Sonic 3. Like, Sonic 3 is just going to blow up over Craven and Mufasa, like, without question.
I'll say I don't think it's going to blow up over Mufasa. I'm going to be honest with you.
I do
not because I'm going to watch it. It's just because the last one made $1 billion, and I feel like those people are going to come over and watch this.
I disagree, but I think Sonic will make more money, but we'll see.
We'll see.
I enjoyed Morbius. Since Keanu Reeves is playing Shadows, so I mean, come on, he's gonna make bank. Like let's be real.
No, John Wick 4 didn't make bank like it was supposed to. He's not that big of a draw.
To be fair, he is though.
He is, but he's not $1 billion draw.
We'll see.
We'll see though. Hopefully, people know that he's in the movie. That's like the main thing. But yeah, let's wrap this up. This was a fun Q&A. What I usually do is kind of sum up the things that I've learned from you. And what I've learned from other people is how movies have shaped their personality. And I'll say that from what I heard, you always had a strong personality on your own when you were younger. But movies have just gotten you to explore entertainment and enjoy them. And they've been such a big part of your life from a little age, like 5 years old, when you're figuring out filmmaking at that age. But you always had your person. You didn't really like get your personality from movies. You've had your personality from your family, your upbringing, everything that's going on. And movies have just been like an escape for you, and to explore different worlds, and to really get like a fantasy world. Like we talk about all these movies like the Goonies and Trainspotting and Dark Knight, and a common theme here is like you love the use of realistic practical effects. But you also, and you love a really good, strong story. You like when things are grounded in a way that you can feel the attachments to them, like in your real life. You know, like you don't have a lot of fantasy films. Like you don't have a Lord of the Rings on here. You don't have Star Wars. You don't have Battlestar Galactica or Star Trek or any of these films. You might think they're good, but if you notice,
like I love Star Trek when I was younger. Like I can just tell you that I love Star Trek when I was younger, but it didn't really like shape me as I am now, like as a film lover.
Yeah, because there's a groundedness that you need to see in your films. Even like the closest thing that we have here that's fantastical is like obviously The Incredibles, but even that has the family in the heart. There's a realistic take on that because the whole like, oh, superheroes don't need to be around. There's something there. But even like, well, Hellraiser is the closest thing to fantastical that we really were talking about. But even with that first film, it focuses on the characters in the beginning before we even get to the fantastical. So you really like grounded stories. You really like stories that talk about familia and that ties into your personal life, how you brought up shortly about your family and how that ties into it. So I find that really, really interesting, how you kind of reflect your life into the movies you watch. Instead of you watching the movie and it like affecting you. Like you might watch a movie and be like, oh, I watched what was the movie we were talking about? The sketching, like the SNL sketching.
Ghostbusters. I was talking about Ghostbusters.
You watched Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters didn't really. Yeah, you didn't necessarily change you as a person. It made you go seek out more stuff like that, and I find that very, very interesting. It's very different from how other people intake films. So, I found that really dope. Luke, this was awesome. This was really, really fun. I had a great time hearing your opinions about all these films. I know having you on was going to be easy because you love talking about movies. This is what you do on your channel.
It's my life.
So it's your life, like just like the thumbnail say. And yeah, I think that, you know, another 10 years, it's going to be interesting to see what are your favorite movies when you're 30. You know what I mean? Because you're going to be seeing a lot more movies. Some of these older movies that we've missed, some new movies. And maybe you might rewatch a movie that you didn't really care for, and then it might grow on you. So it's all possible. So Luke, this was a great time. I'm going to solo you out so you can talk about your channel, and I'm going to wrap.
All right. So, yeah, of course, I'm Luke Ponto. Name is right here. I talk about movies. I do physical media, and I do a bunch of Q&As and watch-alongs on my channel. I want to shout out Zach for the title he gave me on one of his streams, the King of Watch-alongs. So thank you, brother. Appreciate that. But yeah, I'm of course on YouTube at Luke Ponto, nearing in at 600 subscribers. So if you guys want to get me there before the summer, would really appreciate it. Of course, you can find me on Instagram at LukePonto23. I do mostly post at my physical media pickups. And then I am on Twitter, Letterboxd, and serialized at Luke Ponto, just my first and last name together. And yeah, so that's basically it, man. And thank you once again, Zach, man. You're the best.
No, I try, man. I try sometimes. But what do you have coming up? What you have was it 3 watch-alongs or 2 watch-alongs this week?
2 watch-alongs this week. I got The Beekeeper tomorrow. If you guys want to come check that out, if you guys love Jason Statham like I do, come on. And it's also kind of helping for like the algorithm also, because a lot of people love to see like the newer stuff for my watch-alongs. Because I did one for Meg 2 The Trench, which you guys know I hate that movie with a passion, but that one was Mike's idea. To clarify, that was his idea, so don't blame me. And that one got like over 500 views. And I did The Last Voyage of the Demeter. That one's almost at 500 views.
Yeah.
So sometimes newer films help with that. And I also want to shout out Jacob Hubbard for that as well, for telling me that. Also great dude. Go check him out. So yeah, tomorrow's The Beekeeper, and then on Wednesday, this will be kicking off the May watch-alongs with Safe, another Jason Statham movie. Again, because I'm on a big Jason Statham kick after The Beekeeper. And then on May 5th, I also want to shout out Mike for this one, because this movie is going to be 2 years old on the 27th. Believe it or not, it is going to be the Bob's Burgers movie.
Ah, nice. That should be fun.
I mean, if you're interested, Zach, I mean, you can hit me up.
Yeah, I'm gonna just send me the ones that you're doing and the dates, and let me know, because I have some collabs coming up. One what me and Noah are gonna do one of these, which should be exciting. I'm definitely gonna have one with Dell on movies. I was on his channel. We did movie swap, so I definitely want to have him on. And you know, there's a couple other people I want to get on and do this. I want to start doing this more often, because I love how it brings us all together. We're talking about the things that we love to talk about, and you find out things about the people that you never would have found out otherwise. So this was really great. I had a fun time. Let me cheat, plug myself. I have another stream coming up tomorrow. 3 streams in a row. Zach Attack News Live, going to be tomorrow at 7 p.m. as usual, talking about the biggest news. It's going to be formatted a little way different than what I usually do, so I'm excited to see how you guys think about that. And then I'll have a review for The Fall Guy on Friday. I'm going to go see it on Friday and probably have a review either Friday night or like really early in the morning on Saturday. That's what I have really planned right now. And any like trailer reactions, I'm skipping Mufasa. I have no interest in that. That reaction would be pretty boring. But any other big trailers?
The stuff looks so emotionless anyway.
Exactly. I saw a clip of somebody trying to turn around and the face didn't even move. I was like, I'm good. But yeah,
pass on that, bitch. Easy.
Shout out to everybody in the live stream that's been with us for all 3 hours. Appreciate all you guys voting, everything, all the questions, even Brandon, coming at us because we don't like the movies you like. Appreciate all the love, all the hate, all the comments, every single thing going into this. And peace out, guys.
See you later.